What started in one Florida town now comes to an end in another Florida town. From Daytona to Miami and 21 cities in between. The Nationwide Series title fight ends here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Welcome to the season finale.
Homestead Miami Speedway. This is where the countdown to a championship finally ends. It's been a season packed with numbers. 32 races, thousands of gallons of fuel, 7,938 miles, 11 different winners, 1.4 million fans in the stands, countless close calls.
Get up, get up, get up, get up.
And more than a few tempers ignited. Today's equation begins with the number 2, the lone pair of title contenders. The crafty veteran with the unclear future, looking for his long, elusive coronation.
Oh no! Elliott Sadler into the wall!
But yet again, facing uphill odds. And the defending champion,
Stenhouse has won the championship.
seeking to close out a memorable nationwide run before moving onward and upward.
Yeah!
That's the only way I know. Don't stop till everything's gone. Straight ahead, never turn around. Don't back up, don't back down.
They have chased the season's final sunset here to the series' last stop. A year's worth of math has been reduced to the simplest number of them all. One race, one champion.
For the final time this season, welcome to NASCAR Nationwide Series Countdown and welcome to Championship Weekend from Homestead Miami Speedway. James Buescher won the Truck Series Championship last night. Tonight, either Ricky Stenhouse Jr. or Elliott Sadler will join Buescher as a 2012 NASCAR champion, and either Stenhouse or Sadler will take home that trophy as the best of the Nationwide Series. Hi, hello, welcome, my friends, to the ESPN Pit Studio. Inside, I'm Nicole Briscoe, alongside Rusty Wallace, Brad Doherty, and Ray Evernham. Here we are once again for the second time in 2 seasons with Elliott Sadler and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. separated by just a handful of points. What are they thinking about as they're getting into this car for the last time this season?
Well, I'll guarantee they're both nervous. There's no doubt about that. But I tell you what they're thinking they need to do. Number 1 for Elliott Sadler, he's got to shake off what happened last weekend. I mean, this guy's been doing good all year long. He swapped the point lead back and forth with Ricky about 5 or 6 times this year, but he had a bad run last week. He's got to shake it off. He's righted the ship again for this week. He's qualified second. He's looking good. Now for Ricky, who's leading this championship, he's probably thinking, man, I just can't screw up. Ricky's been pretty good at hitting the wall this year. And this year, at this particular racetrack, Brad, you got to run right up against the wall and turn 3 and 4 to run fast. So he's got to be careful. He can't get up there and flirt with that thing too much. And I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about.
You're exactly right. He really hangs that thing out, drives it out on the edge. He gets into the wall here and now. But I think he has to continue to do what's got him here. I think it's interesting, though. Elliott Sadler, Ricky Stenhouse, it's been nip and tuck all season long until last week. It took a huge mistake to separate them. Will it take a huge mistake to put them back together again? Who knows?
Well, and ultimately, it doesn't really matter what the 2 car does this week. He could have the fastest car on the track, lap the field. It's really about what the 6 car does. If the 6 car does, finish in the top 15 solid, the championship is over. So the 2 car, because of that mistake last week, put it in the control of the 6 car this week.
Well, the 2 car obviously hasn't had things go exactly according to plan. Well, for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he obviously entered this season as the defending champion. He had the experience, he had the title, he had the trophy, and he was expecting to go out and be able to repeat. It's a plan that sounds simple enough, but just like Sadler, things haven't always gone according to plan for Stenhouse either.
We come into this year and we've had a lot better season, but we've made more mistakes.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., boy, the last few weeks have been troublesome.
Those are mistakes by the team, by myself. Those are moments that you can't get back. Coming up through the field, I think we were 5th, and Joey was 4th. We were catching him. We got some debris on the grill. To get debris off the grill, you try to get to the car in front of you. I kept trying to time it where I could catch him down the straightaway, and I kept missing it.
And there's a problem now for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who is off the pace.
At that point, I thought, well, here we go. I'm going to have to live with this mistake, and you know, I thought we lost the championship right there. If you make a mistake halfway through the year, you still have some races to make it up. You know, we got 3 races left, and I make a mistake like that. I felt bad. I felt like I let my team down. The guys went over the wall. They fixed it the best they could.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 23rd, 2 laps down. The way they're running in the points right now, he would drop to 3rd.
We went back out, and we were still running lap times well enough to be in the top 5. When you have 3 RCR cars running up front, I figured one of them would have stayed out just to keep us 2 laps down.
This is going to be a big break for Stenhouse.
I felt like at that moment I had made a mistake in the race car. But I felt like they bounced back and made a mistake as well that was maybe a little bigger than the mistake we made.
You got to give that team a lot of credit. They have fought back. Sometimes fortune just turns your way.
Ricky Stenhouse is going to win. Unbelievable.
It's moments like Kansas where something happens, you react to it, your team reacts to it, and you bounce back with a solid finish or a win. I think that's defining moments. I hope our defining moment is winning the race at Homestead and the championship at the same time.
If this day goes in favor of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he becomes a 2-time Nationwide Series champion. As he progresses into the next stage of his career, which is taking over the 17 car for Roush Fenway on the Cup side, what kind of clout does 2 championships give him?
Well, anytime you win a championship in anything, it gives you, it makes you more recognizable to your peers. But the thing that's interesting is you go throughout the garage area, in the Cup garage area, you hear guys talking about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. They talk about his speed and his fearlessness. Well, that's going to translate into some good things, but he's going to have to develop the fundamentals to be really good at the Cup level. But I know there's a lot of excitement, and guys are looking forward to racing wheel to wheel with this fast young race car driver.
And you don't carry those cups inside the car, right? You leave that stuff home. So, you know, we have had other guys back-to-back, Martin Truex Jr., Dale Earnhardt Jr. When you come to Cup, it's like going from college to the pros.
That's right.
Those guys know who
Different
you are,
level.
but they make you earn it. They're going to make him earn it. He's going to have to prove that he's a good driver, and he's going to have to earn the respect of those guys at the Cup level.
Well, Brad, you were hitting on something a little while ago talking about the Cup Series with Ricky Stenhouse. I can tell you, I've talked to a lot of these past NASCAR Nationwide champions, and I will tell you, you better enjoy that championship right now during this offseason, because when you get to the Daytona 500, when he moves up the Cup, he's going to figure out how tough it is. And those 2 championships, they're really not going to pay a lot of attention to them. They're going to try to eat them up and outrun them just like they do everybody else. It's going to be very, very tough, but enjoy it now. At least he's done it. He can never take it back. He's a champion, but he's a championship in a Nationwide. And when he gets a Cup, it's a lot different.
Show of hands, because he's already making the transition this weekend. He's doing double duty. He's in the Cup Series race. Who's surprised that he's doing that on the same weekend when a championship is on the line? I think I am a little bit.
Yeah,
Anyone else?
Surprised.
I guess we're alone.
Not me, boy. I'd take
Great
that opportunity if I could.
Great minds think alike.
That's right. I agree with
Race
you.
fans, remember this. Race Buddy, this one's for you. It's enhanced coverage for select Nationwide Series races with more cameras than ever. Log on to NASCARNationwideSeries.com/Race Buddy. How does it feel to know that you think alike and Brad and I are just,
It's a little bit scary.
When we come back, he's the veteran. He's got the experience, but he doesn't have a championship. Why Elliott Sadler says he needs this title for what could happen next. That is next when NASCAR Countdown rolls on. Welcome back to Championship Weekend just south of Miami. We are at Homestead Miami Speedway. This is it. The season ends here this evening. Now, Elliott Sadler is the number 2 man. He trails Stenhouse by 20 points. He will start second this afternoon. For Sadler, though, this championship is not just about winning a title. It's about why he has to win a title and what a title could mean for what could happen next.
You know, it hurt last year not winning a championship. We felt like we should have won the championship. I felt like we were in position all season long, mean, it's very hard to swallow. It hurt.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has won the championship in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
I take this to heart. This is my life. This is my heart and soul, what I do week in and week out. And when you don't succeed like you think you should, it leaves a mark. Winning a championship for me is very hard to put in words. To win a championship is the ultimate goal. I think any kid, anybody racing wants to win a championship. Will it take some of this chip I got off my shoulder? Probably. Will it feel like redemption a little bit? Yeah, probably. I felt like I was done wrong pretty bad a couple years ago and kind of run out of the Cup Series, not on my own terms, and feel like I want to get back to that one day.
Sadler wins it. Sadler by half a car length. Elliott Sadler wins at California. Good job there, Elliott Sadler.
I feel like one day if I keep doing my job on the racetrack and competing at a high level, somebody will give me the break that I'm looking for to make it back to Cup, to be a part of the chase and be a part of championship contention again. To be able to do that and be competitive there, I need to win a championship in the Nationwide Series first. I need to show that I can contend and compete at a high level week in and week out and put a whole season together.
Sadler wins it.
Hell yeah!
Elliott Sadler comes home your winner today.
Checkered flag for Sadler.
They are not taking this championship from me!
Oh no! Elliott Sadler into the wall. The championship.
I just went into turn 3 and got loose. It's almost deja vu. It's the same exact corner I kind of lost the championship in last year. To dig ourselves that big of a hole in one lap with just a few laps to go was, definitely hard to swallow.
Sorry, guys. It's 100% my fault. Just trying too hard. Don't know what else to tell you.
This still ain't over yet. We're going to keep fighting, brother.
I think this one's going to hurt more this year compared to last year if we don't win the championship, just because we were in control of this championship all season long. I'd like to be in a little bit different position both times I've come to Homestead the last 2 years, but these are the cards we're dealt. So we're just going to go ahead and make the most of them.
This is obviously not over. We learned that lesson last week. Sadler showed us that just about anything can happen at any time, but this is the second year in a row, as he mentioned, that he's put himself in a position to be in a hole heading into the final race of the season because of a mistake he made in Phoenix. This is a guy who led the championship 25 weeks this year, Ray. Why can he just not close the deal?
Well, first, let me say that he is one of the finest gentlemen that we have in this sport. And secondly, it's not always about just the driver closing the deal. I think it goes back to when we said he announced that he wasn't coming back to Richard Childress Racing, that it was going to be a distraction. I think it has been a distraction for the team. I think there's been some distractions at Richard Childress Racing, and I think his young crew chief, Luke Lambert, going head-to-head with a veteran like Mike Kelly is tough enough, but I think he's being pulled in different directions, and I think that the performance of their cars has not been consistent enough to win a championship.
Yeah, I think Ray hit the nail on the head. When you talk about Elliott Sadler, you're absolutely right. He is really a true gentleman, and he's easy to interview, easy to talk to. So it's really difficult to watch him struggle like he did last week at Phoenix. But coming out of this, the reality of it is for Elliott is he needs to win this championship. Elliott Sadler wants to be back in the Cup Series, and he wants to go back and redeem himself as a Cup caliber driver. And he needs this championship to help validate that and also to facilitate that. So it's very, very important that he comes out of here today with his championship some way, some shape, somehow, some way walks out here with that trophy.
One thing I'd remind you guys about, though, he's been pretty good all year long.
Yes, he has.
I mean, he's been atop of those standings 25 times.
Weeks.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's done real good. He made one mistake last week at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's
he
right.
got loose in that really, really tough back straightaway at Phoenix, that controversial back straightaway there. I'm not going to beat the guy up too much. I'm really not.
Okay.
I've been really happy how Elliott's been running all year long. Right now he's behind. He's 20 behind. He's got to dig down. He's got to get after it. He's got to throw some Hail Marys. And you know what? He might win this thing.
So what do? What is your Hail Mary today if you're Elliott Sadler and Luke Lambert?
Wide open. That's it, Nicole. Work on that car. Make it handle. Take the aggressive moves. Gamble a little bit. Do whatever it takes. Because he's behind. He's got to go for it. You can ask me this question tomorrow when it comes to Jimmy Johnson, I'm going to probably tell you the same thing. I'm going to say throw the Hail Mary and go for it.
You know, interesting, as you look at it, though, with Elliott Sadler, he's never throughout the season had just a really dominant race car. He's had some really good, strong performances. So I don't know if he can go out and dominate this race. But what they can do is do what they've been doing all year long, being very, very consistent throughout the race, giving themselves an opportunity and digging and clawing. Last week, apparition. It just happened. It was a bad thing. I think he can come back, though, and possibly win this championship.
Hey, he's qualified second now.
But it doesn't,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if he laps the field 5 times. It's about the 6 car today,
The
guys.
6 car might have a problem.
If the 6 car has a problem, all the 6 car has to do is do what they've done every week.
It's over.
Have a good day.
Right.
And they can
How many times has Ricky Stenhouse clobbered the wall, though, and you got to run
He hits
right
it a
back?
lot. He hits
But
it
the
a lot.
bottom line
We
is
saw
that
that last week.
Elliott Sadler no longer controls his own destiny
Correct.
because of a mistake he made at Phoenix. By the way, what would you do if you were Sadler and Luke Lambert? You can join our conversation in the pit studio on the Twitter at NASCAR ESPN. Please use the hashtag pit studio. And then while you're at it, how are you watching this title fight? Tweet us your seats. These peeps did. Check out this view.
Ooh, nice spot.
Championship weekend. It's been a beautiful weekend so far.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Juju of the jungle.
Tweet us
the
your
world?
seats
Saw that
at
guy.
NASCAR
Glad you
ESPN
can read
Victory
that.
Lane. That is where one of these guys will go later as the champion. Coming up next, the rest of the story or stories in the Nationwide Series from this season, from the ever-improving Danica Patrick to the still winless Kyle Busch to the farewell race for Joey Logano at Joe Gibbs Racing. That is coming up next.
Juju of the jungle. The word? Juju of the jungle.
It's a big weekend in Southern Florida, championship weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. James Buescher was the first to earn the title last night in the Truck Series. Tonight, we will crown the Nationwide Series champ, and tomorrow it's the big one, the Sprint Cup Series championship. Will it be Brad Keselowski or will it be Jimmy Johnson? Join us all afternoon, starting with the 90-minute edition of NASCAR Countdown as we kick off Championship Sunday and the Ford Ecoboost 400. That's at 1:30 Eastern on ESPN. Let's wrap up, though, right now, a few of the big storylines and stories in this series, starting with Kyle Busch, Brad, the pole sitter, the winningest driver in the series history. He has not won yet this year.
That's absolutely incredible to me that Kyle Busch has not been able to get his own race team to victory lane. I think we got to look back over the history of Kyle Busch and say that Joe Gibbs Racing was a tremendous part of all of those victories. It is probably the reason why, the single reason why he got the victory lane so much, even though he's ultra talented.
Speaking of JGR, Joey Logano, obviously he's having a dream season in this series, 9 wins. He starts 5th in his final race in this series with Joe Gibbs Racing. Logano is switching to Penske next year.
Oh, man, what about this year? His kid's had 9 wins. Can you believe it, guys? 9 wins?
JGR.
Unbelievable. He's leaving one great outfit and going to another. Talk about a kid that's got a lot of fortune on the side right now. He'll do good over there, too.
Regan Smith getting a jump start on 2013. He'll be in that car next season. Today he'll start 10th with crew chief, wait for it, Steve Letarte.
And just the fact that Steve Letarte is over there should tell you how much the Nationwide Series means to the Hendrick organization. Regan Smith is well liked. He's got a lot of speed. You could be looking at your 2013 champion there.
And let's give Danica Patrick some credit. This season did not start as she had hoped, but she has picked up some steam over the last few weeks. Her results have been improving. She starts 14th here today.
Nicole, she's been doing really, really good. She has exceeded my expectations.
Well, this day, at the end of it, is all about 2 drivers, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Elliott Sadler. After 32 races, I want you to look at how closely they match up in their performances throughout this year. Who will stand out tonight? Let's talk to them, starting with Jamie Little.
And after all that, Nicole, it all comes down to this race. So, Elliott, why should your fans believe that you could leave here as the champion?
Well, I mean, this is why we race. I mean, anything can happen. It's 300 miles. We saw that in the truck race last night. Anything can happen. And we got a great race team. We got a really fast race car again, qualified up front. You know, we're going to give it all we got. We're going to leave here with our heads held high because we've given it our best effort. And we're just going to see where it all lays out at the end of the line, at the end of the race tonight. But I'm looking forward to the opportunity to run it for the championship, and looking forward to being a part of it the whole race long. We'll just, when the checkered flag falls, we'll see where we stack up.
final practice, you maximized every minute to get that car right. Meanwhile, Stenhouse set out half the practice. Based on what you've seen, who has the better car today?
Well, I think we got a really good race car, but they're in a totally different situation than what we're in. You know, everything, they have the advantage right now with the cushion that they have with the points. And 20 points in the Nationwide Series is a lot of points. It's because of the difference in the fields and how deep it really is and the starting parks and things like that. So they didn't really have to run a lot, probably want to keep some miles off the motors and stuff like that. Us, on the other hand, we got to go out there and get our car as best we can. We want to lead the most laps. We want to try to win the race because we got to get maximum points. And we feel like we get maximum points, we've done our job and what we need to do here at Homestead this weekend.
Let's go over to Vince Welch with the point leader.
And he is the defending champion as well, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., not only with a 20-point lead, but out of your home track, this is your favorite place. What is it about Homestead that you enjoy so much?
We've ran well since when we first came here a couple years ago, and kind of reminds me of my dirt track days, just sliding around a lot up by the wall. And we've always had great race cars. Mike has done a great job this weekend in the last 2 years that we've been here preparing a great race car. And our Black Angus Beef Mustang was a little tight in practice. We'll have to see with the sun going down a little earlier than we probably expected. Should be turning fairly well, and hopefully we'll be around and go run this thing at the end.
We expect the other competitors to give you and Elliott plenty of room, but how will the two of you race each other?
We'll race hard. I mean, heck, we race each other hard every week, but we give each other room. And I think we'll just go out, run our same race we normally do, and everything should work out all right.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Nicole, going for 2 in a row.
Last time, guys, I'll ask this question. Who wins the championship?
I think statistically, if you look at it, I think Ricky Stenhouse wins the championship today.
All right, I'm going to pick Elliott Sadler in a 2-car. I'll tell you what, when I know Richard Childress, when he gets behind, this cat gets mean. I think they can make it up. I am a believer. I think Elliott can pull it out.
I just want to throw something out there. Sadler's back by 20 points.
Yep.
Dark horse, Austin Dillon,
25.
only back
That's
by 25.
right.
You
That's
never
right.
know, right? What do you think?
I think the 6, they've shown the ability to be able to keep up with the track changes and adjust the right way towards the end of the race. They've also been able to overcome adversity, I think, Ricky Stenhouse in the 6.
So for the record, that is 2 for Ricky Stenhouse, 1 for Elliott Sadler. And yes, I will be keeping track because these things matter. When we come back, something we've not yet touched on, the impact of teammates in determining this championship. Marty Reed, Andy Petrie, and Dale Jarrett jump in the mix and tell you why one Elliott Sadler may have the advantage in this. That's next as we get you closer to the final race of this 2012 NASCAR Nationwide Series season.
No, it's not over. Anything can happen. Anything happens all the time. It hails Mary, walks off. It ices games with miracles. Yep, anything can happen.
And that's exactly why we love sports so much, as we welcome you to the Ford Ecoboost 300, the 33rd and final race of the 2012 NASCAR Nationwide season. And a champion will be crowned today. Will it be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. or will it be Elliott Sadler? And on an outside shot, maybe even Austin Dillon. But both those guys ahead of Austin in third have to have problems. Here's the points get differential. 20 separate Ricky Stenhouse and Elliott Sadler. 25 back to Austin Dillon. Let's get more on those two top championship contenders. Vince Welch, you're up.
Well, this car Ricky Stenhouse will drive today is the same one he raced from 2 laps down to win at Kansas. And while he certainly hopes for less drama here today, he will not drive this car with kid gloves. In fact, Stenhouse says he does not know the word cautious. That attitude makes many in this camp nervous, but it's the same attitude that positions Ricky for a second straight championship. Jamie?
In 17 years of NASCAR racing, Elliott Sadler has never won a championship, but he's never been as close as he is now. He knows that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has lost 21 points twice this year in a single race, and that is enough to keep hope alive. Let's go trackside.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the United States Coast Guard Base Miami Beach Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Pastor Scott Clonch from Calvary Chapel Kendall presents our nation's colors.
Let's pray. Father God, we honor today our military and our police and our firefighters and other first responders, those who protect our air, our sea, and our land. And we pray that you would look down upon them from heaven and watch over them as they watch over us. And God, we ask for the drivers and the crews today to be kept safe as they bring us a great race here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. And finally, on this Thanksgiving week, we give thanks that we live in this great nation by your mercy and grace, and ask God bless America. In Jesus' name, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome the All-American Country Girl, Chelsea Bain.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
So we get ready for the championship battle. Who takes the title home at the end of 200 laps, 300 miles here at Homestead Miami Speedway? As we come topside, we welcome you and thank you for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us. Andy Petrie, Dale Jarrett, Marty Reed. Guys, we've talked about it all season long. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., sometimes too aggressive to even think about being conservative. It's gotten him in trouble sometimes.
Yeah, we've seen him have some issues at some of these racetracks just because he goes at it so hard every single lap. It has cost him a few times, whether it's getting his car completely torn up or something on pit road. He just goes at it so hard. He's going to have to be right up against the wall to find the fast way around this racetrack today. That can get you in trouble. The thing that makes him championship worthy and a great champion is the very thing that could cost him a champion here today, being so aggressive.
Well, he's not afraid to play with fire, but he can't afford to get burned here today. He's got a 20-point lead. He can't be foolish with that. He has to think about that and look at the big picture. I think he'll do that. He'll still race hard, though.
Well, you heard Jamie Little. There are the two races where he lost more than 20 points, Charlotte in May, Dover in June. And in both of those races, at the time, he was ahead of Elliott Sadler on the track. All right, let's talk about the other thing, because qualifying was oh so important here, especially for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. There are 4 Richard Childress racing machines, 1 Roush Fenway number 6. And had he not qualified well, he could have been really boxed. He's still got some issues. Let's talk about Elliott first.
Yeah, Elliott qualified well. He gets a good pit stall. He gets an opening in front of his race car, actually behind his race car. So he'll have time to get in his pit stall, and he's got somebody in front that'll actually probably not run the whole race. So he'll be able to have a free exit out. So he's really in pretty good shape on pit road. And pit road is a place that you can get in trouble. And Ricky Stenhouse also qualified good, so he'll have another good pit stall. He's got an opening in front of him, and in front of that opening, he has Austin Dillon, an RCR car. But behind him, he's got another RCR car, and Joey Coulter in that 21. And that could be a problem for him.
Well, Ricky's only job then is to stay in front of the 21. He's got no problem getting in or getting out.
Well, we're going to find out if Ricky Stenhouse can do that, and we'll see who ends up winning the championship. We'll fire the engines when we come back to Homestead. Tension continues to mount here at Homestead Miami Speedway as we get ready. Just 7 minutes as we get ready to go green here at the Ford Ecoboost 300. Guys, DJ especially, this moment where you're just waiting for the command. What's it like?
Yeah, this is agonizing right here. It seems like forever before you can get behind the wheel and start doing what you're here to do, and that's to get the job done. So Ricky's ready to get this thing rolling.
Yeah, but the drivers, once the green flag comes out, they've got a lot of work to do, and they can work off some of that nervous energy. But let me tell you, the crew chief on top of that box is going to be pretty nervous most of the day.
Well, you see last-minute notes being gone over with Elliott Sadler as they are getting ready. They know exactly what they have to do. Make up a lot of ground. 20 points separates the top two in the championship. Let's go trackside to start the engines.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, Group Marketing Manager for Global Cars and Crossovers for Ford, Amy Marentic.
Drivers, start your engine!
Drag it up. Okay, I'll just go ahead and fire it up there. Fire
So the engines come to life on the 43 cars that'll make up the field here at Homestead, Miami in the final race of the 2012 season. Just want to remember, if you're a fan, check out Race Buddy. Enhanced coverage for select Nationwide Series events, and we've got more cameras than ever. All you got to do is log on to NASCARNationwideSeries.com/RaceBuddy. Ricky Stenhouse, there he is in the number 6. He'll be starting in the number 4 position. He's also our in-race reporter today, and we'll talk to him when we come back.
They call it the road to the championship, but this is no road. It's an obstacle course, a lifelong series of tests, setbacks and triumphs, of wrecked race cars, a lot of wrecked race cars, of heartbreaks and lucky breaks. Traveling this road, you pick up pieces along the way, pieces that all finally snap into place today. The pieces that come together to build a champion.
Does Ricky Stenhouse Jr. claim his second straight Nationwide Series championship? Well, we're about to find out here at the Ford Ecoboost 300. Here's what Ricky did last year compared to this year, 2011 versus 2012, when he won the title last season. Had 2 victories to 6 this year, and you notice the difference. Much more comfortable position last year as he came into this final race with a 41-point lead. This year, it is 20. He's our in-race reporter. Let's talk to him, DJ.
Hey, Ricky, it's Dale Jarrett. We were just showing the fans what a terrific season stat-wise you've had this year and on the racetrack. Just remarkable. Leads us to our mailbag question. Just to show you that we search far and wide for these, we go across the big pond to Essex, England, and Scott asked, knowing you only have to finish 16th or better to win the championship, are you going to play it safe and clean or go for the win and put the championship on the line?
Dale, you know me, I like to drive hard, and of course we want to win the championship here, Ford Championship weekend, but you know, that's our main goal. If we have a shot to go win this race, we'll definitely go do that too. So that's a great question, but we'll stay up on the wheel all night long.
Hey, Ricky, yesterday only 15 laps between the 2 practices, and I know you had a tire issue with a puncture in the right front, so you cut it off early. Do you still feel like you've got this race car where you need it to win this championship today?
10-4. We felt good about our Cargill Beef Mustang, and you know, we drank some off before the race, so we should be good to go. This thing's rested up. We got this Roush 8 horsepower underneath the hood, and Mike's got the setup that we need to go win this thing. So feel really good about our race car tonight.
All right, Ricky, we really appreciate you talking with us as you try to win this second consecutive championship. Now, Andy's going to talk to the man that's made it all happen for you, your crew chief, Mike Kelly.
Hey, Mike, it's Andy up here. We're hearing how Ricky's talking about driving hard, trying to win, but have you done anything to hedge your setup a little bit toward the conservative side today to win this championship?
No, not really. We brought a really good race car down here. We had a good package down here last year, so we feel we came back with that, and he was happy with it in practice. We want to win this race. We want to win this championship, and if we're in position to do both, we will. If not, we know we need to do what we need to do to secure this championship for Ford and Roush and everyone that's done stuff for us.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to keep that big picture in mind, but you and Ricky have had a great relationship and a bunch of good wins and memories. What's some of your favorite times that you've had with Ricky?
And I think getting that first win in Iowa after all we went through 6 months earlier, you know, at that track. That, obviously last year's championship, and coming back this year, he raised the bar on the team to come back and win. He wanted 6 to 10 wins and go for another championship, and here we are. I couldn't ask for a better friend in life and a better race car driver to sit behind our wheel, and just proud to get up here and sit on the box with him.
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to follow up with, Mike. I know that this has to be a little bittersweet for you going for this championship, but it's the last race that you'll have with Ricky.
Head forward.
And a little emotion there, as you can tell, as the relationship very tight between those two. Mark Hollywood Armstrong, he is the rear tire changer on the number 54 of our pole sitter, Kyle Busch. Hollywood, the drivers have 200 laps to make it or break it. You're going to have 3 chances as the pit crews down there. Let's talk about the championship contenders, the pressure not to make a mistake.
They've got a ton of pressure on them, and they don't have next week to fix it if they have a problem. This pit crew behind me, they've got 3 stops today. Hopefully they get them all right and don't have any penalties and no problems. And if that's the case and they have a good day, well, at the end, they're all champions. But you don't want to be the guy to miss a lug nut or have one fall off or any kind of penalty and have to come back in. That could be something very difficult to deal with over the winter. But these guys are ready for that challenge.
Great stuff, Hollywood. You be safe down there. All right, let's talk about our dual path onboard cameras, because we've got one, of course, with Elliott Sadler in the number 2 with the Nationwide Insurance onboard camera.
All right, buddy, we got to go win this race. That's the only chance we got. Just go give it all you got. I know you will. You have all year. Go finish it off right.
Austin Dillon in the number 3 will start 3rd. He's got the Goodyear onboard camera. Regan Smith in the number 5 with the Chevy onboard. And our in-race reporter, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with the Ford Ecoboost on board.
All right, boys, I'd like to tell you we waited a lifetime for this, but we waited a year, and we waited a year to repeat. We put ourselves in position to do it. We got one more night, execute, everyone stay focused. We got 200 laps.
Number 7 of Danica Patrick also has the GoDaddy onboard camera. And the number 18 of Joey Logano with our Toyota onboard camera. Justin Allgaier in the number 31, fresh from Florida Gulf Seafood on board. And Kyle Busch, our pole sitter, in the Nationwide Insurance onboard camera. So the pace car is now into turn number 3. As you can see, the lights are out for Kyle Busch, looking to keep that streak alive, at least 1 win in each of the last 9 seasons. He has 11 career wins from the pole, most of any driver. He also won his last 2 starts here. But the guy right to his right, Elliott Sadler, knows what he has to do if he wants to win a championship. And the man he's chasing in that championship right behind him in the number 6, that is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Pace car has pulled down onto pit road. They make their way down the front straightaway. Oh, so slowly, but the hammer is about to go down, and the Ford Ecoboost 300 is green. Great start for Kyle Busch. He takes the lead. Elliott Sadler has a mirror full, the number 6.
You might see these cars on the bottom and middle of the racetrack here for a few laps on fresh tires, but once they get a few laps on them, they're going to be right up next to the wall.
Austin Dillon has slid into that 3rd spot now. And here comes the 6 of Stenhouse taking a peek underneath. Austin told me, guys, before the race that the fresh tires, you can run the bottom, but as the laps keep going, you're going to have to go higher.
Yeah, just to carry any speed, because it takes so much with getting down into the corner, trying to run on the bottom. You'll really wear these tires out much quicker by doing that. So if you're going to carry any speed through the center to get your straightaway speed, you're going to have to keep that momentum up, and that's best done from the middle of the corner up to the top against the wall.
See Elliott Sadler just creeping right up to the back bumper of Kyle Busch. This got to be a big day for Kyle Busch. He really wants to win this race. He's got to have the pole. He's got a great starting position here, but I know that he's focused on trying to win this thing.
Saw team manager Rick Wren right before qualifying. He was nervous. I mean, he flat out admitted, he says, we want this so badly. We've come so close. He's been passed on the last lap twice this year to lose races.
Yeah, last night in the truck race, he did the same thing, got passed right at the line.
You see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has gotten back around the number 3. So put Stenhouse back in that 3rd position. And notice everybody already starting to head to the top.
Yeah, as we go back down, we're going down the back straightaway now, so the sun's not an issue. But as they come off of 4, they're going to have a little bit. There's some cloud cover right now, and the sun's kind of peeking in and out. So it's not going to be as bad as what they have, and we're probably anticipating. But from this area right here till they get to about the start-finish line, it's going to be a little bit of a problem until the sun goes down.
There's the sun angle, as you can see right there. The grandstand finally shades it for you. Not as bad as last week at Phoenix. Man, it was blinding there.
Yeah, no, not as bad as they normally have it here because of that little bit of cloud, and the sun is starting to set already.
No changes up in the top 4 positions. Got a little bit of action there as Regan Smith looking to go underneath the 88 of Cole Whitt.
Interesting day for Regan Smith in this 5 car. See what he can do as they try to build on getting something really started for next year.
Yeah, this is exactly what Junior Motorsports needs. They need a very experienced driver in that stable to help them develop this program, and I think they've got that with Regan.
Well, and the huge statement when you have Steve Letarte doing double duty. He's on the box today.
Elliott Sadler there as he went by, getting closer and closer to Kyle Busch. Hasn't been able to get up beside him yet.
See that number 22 of Ryan Blaney in the truck race last night. He had his hardest hit of his young racing career by his own admission. He went nose first into the wall late in that race. Now as the action continues up front, Elliott getting a little bit closer to that 54 car.
Yeah, and he knows he needs to get this lead and try to hold it. And one of the objectives is to lead the most laps, get maximum points, and then see what could possibly happen with the 6 car.
Just no front grip right now. 2-4, man. 2-4, bud. That'll be good as the race goes on.
Well, that's the thing. They're not going to have grip anywhere once these tires get some laps on them. They're going to be slip sliding all over the place. It's who can do it the best, and I think right now it looks like Elliott Sadler is.
Down into the corner, side by side. But the momentum may be enough for Kyle to carry the day, or at least the moment.
Yeah, going to be a tough pass down on the inside, I can tell you that. You really have to have a good car. If you can make that work, especially against Kyle Busch, then you have a solid car.
Right here is what he might try as a slide job. He can slide it in front of Kyle.
Get up there. All clear. All clear. Get up there. Get up there. You're good.
Whoa, and here comes Kyle on the crossover.
Yeah, you can see that coming, and he even got it where Sadler didn't even get a point right there for leading.
And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. sitting back there saying, yeah, you guys go ahead and go after each other. Is this too much aggression on Elliott's part? Could this wear out some of those tires quicker?
No, I think he's got to go. I think he's got to push for everything. He's got to try to get this lead as early as possible, just like Dale said, to try to lead the most laps. See, Ricky Stenhouse got a good seat for this, and I'm sure he's just, as long as he can see the back bumper of that 2 car, he knows he's safe. I don't know if I'd get much closer unless I knew I could go right by him.
Did you see how close that 54 was coming out of 4 to the wall?
You can probably see him get closer before it's over.
Yeah, he's not afraid to get up there. You know, to make that really work, you have to get right up there. Once these tires, the air pressures get built up, you have to be right there. And literally what it'll look like to us at times is it's going to be running into it, but you literally kind of use that wall, the air coming off of it as a little bit of a cushion to help you feel a little bit more stable and make speed around this place.
Top 3 have basically pulled away from the 4th place car of Austin Dillon. He's over a full second behind this trio, led by Kyle Busch, who has led all 10 laps so far. You're wondering about Sadler's best finish here is 5th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s worst finish here is 4th. Stay with us. Be a good game after we get done here. We've just been knocking down the laps. Ben Green, all 16, and all 16 led by that man right there, Kyle Busch, who has now opened up a 1.4 second lead over Elliott Sadler. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the points leader, in 3rd, and Austin Dillon running in 4th. Let's get an update from the 2 camp. How about it, Jamie?
Well, before Elliott Sadler got in his race car, he told me, I have a a lot of friends here in the garage, but sometimes I'm just too nice. He knows in order to stay ahead of that 6 car, he needs to be aggressive tonight. So far, his car tight getting in and through the center. Vince?
Hey, you'll notice the black scuffs on the blue wall, and multiple cars have been into the wall this weekend here at Homestead. Stenhouse's spotter, Mike Kalanoff, has reminded Ricky already several times to stay 5 feet off the wall, and I can tell you, Ricky has gotten the message.
Too much. Too much. That's not good. 5 feet. I'm talking 5 feet here.
I gotcha. I don't need to hear it every lap.
I know, but I don't want you scraping the wall either here.
The spotter doing his job, and Ricky doing his most of the time, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can understand why the spotter, I mean, it does, that looks from this angle, you're watching that, and it looks like you're going to hit it. And they just cannot afford to have this car on the wall today.
Yeah, but you have to be careful in doing that, because if you're not up against there and riding around there in the throttle and driving the car, and you have that wall there, you lose the front end there, and it's very easy to be in the gas coming off the corner. The front end just go away from you. Next thing you know, you're in the wall on the exit of the corner.
That's the 4 of Danny Eflin lap traffic that Ricky Stenhouse negotiates safely. He's running 39th.
Now I would want that rubber out, but I know we need to leave it in.
Coming up on another lap vehicle and trying to figure out which way that car's going to go. You notice those yellow stripes? Rookie stripes, and actually we have 15 first-timers here, not necessarily rookies, but first-timers here at Homestead Miami. That's a third of the field. That might make me nervous too as a driver.
There'd be a lot of chicanes out there, couldn't it?
There you go.
Yeah, and sometimes they're not exactly sure where they're going, and you're trying to figure out where they may be going. Makes for an interesting job.
Ricky manages to get around the 52 car at Joey Case. As we a little deeper in the field and go side by side with the 11 of Brian Scott, now tucking in behind the 12 of Sam Hornish Jr. That is for 7th and 8th on the racetrack. Now let's go back just a few laps ago, because the 11 car of Brian Scott had a moment with the 5 of Regan Smith. Hello.
Well, he had problems with the wall first, and the 5 happened to be there.
Let's go on board Regan's car.
Still out there by himself. There you go, bud. Just use that air. Keep coming there. Clear all around behind him.
I don't see any marks on the right side of the 11, but neither one looks worse for the wear, so they both made it through. Dave, what are you hearing?
No complaints right now from driver 11, other than the fact that his car is a little bit tough on the turning side. That may have been what sent him toward the wall off of turn number 4, but the balance was okay to start and then got a little tight for Brian Scott.
Brian, of course, still looking for a ride next year. Talked to him earlier today. Said, yeah, I'm planning on being back in the Nationwide Series. Got a few things in the fire, but nothing signed just yet. He has dropped back now even farther from the 12. That 31 car you see there, Justin Allgaier, he's in a bit of a battle, and that is for the 5th and final podium spot at the banquet Monday night. Only the top 5 get to speak. He's in a battle with the 43 of Michael Annett, and as they're running right now, Justin Allgaier would move back into that 5th spot. Michael Annett started this race 5th in the points.
Yeah, Michael Annett's back just inside the top 20 and 19th right now, but we've seen this before from Michael Annett, and he shows up inside the top 10 when it gets time to finish these races up and get to the checkered flag. So Justin Allgaier's going to have to stay up there for sure if he's going to have any chance of taking that 5th spot.
Sam Hornish taking a peek underneath the 31, and it was confirmed yesterday by Roger Penske. Sam will be full-time in that 12 car next year. So that's good news for him. Let's go back up front, check in on our race leader, because Kyle Busch has got himself a handful of traffic. That's Eric McClure in the 14. Let's go back a few laps ago, because our video crew picked up an incident between the 01. As a water bottle comes out right in front of Kyle. This is what it looked like on board.
Yeah, see, I'm not a fan of these drivers throwing these things out during the green flag onto the racetrack. I know NASCAR Let's Go said they see that, but there's really no reason to be getting rid of that right at that point unless you're looking for a caution.
Well, and a lot of water on that right front tire going into turn number 1 would not be such a great idea either, would it? Didn't seem to hurt Kyle. He is still out front. He has led every single lap so far. Stay with us. As they run here at Homestead Miami Speedway, Elliott Sadler has picked up 1 point because he's right in front of the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. The problem is, because of the tiebreaker, he needs to pick up 20 more. And all he has had since the start of this race is a mirrorful of Ricky, who's looking for his 2nd consecutive NASCAR Nationwide Series title. They are all chasing Kyle Busch, who has led every single lap of this race so far. And Kyle, as you can see, running that high line.
Yeah, he's kind of in another zip code right now. He's pulled out to over 5-second lead.
And you can see some of the traffic that these two are now having to negotiate. And for all intents and purposes, DJ, this is all Ricky has to do is just stay right there. And I mean, it's got to get so frustrating for Elliott after a point.
Well, it certainly does for Elliott Sadler. You know, he needed for the 6 to be off and be struggling some. Elliott's sitting there doing his job. As far as being up front, he'd certainly like to be leading, but Kyle Busch is not going to let any of that happen right now. But you know that he's right there. Just do what you can do, and hope that later on maybe something will change.
Yeah, and for all the talk about how aggressive we were going to see Ricky Stenhouse, I'm seeing him do exactly what he needs to do, and he's staying pretty far off the wall. And I really believe if it wasn't for the championship being on the line, he would be able to drive past Elliott right now. But his best interest is to just stay right where he is, and he can't lose anything there.
Well, and one of the other things that we're seeing right now with this long green flag run of 33 laps, 25 cars are now on the lead lap. And at the rate that Kyle Busch is knocking the numbers down, he's now opened up a lead of 6.7 seconds. He has just checked out. There you see the 3 of Austin Dillon. Dillon is running 5th. He's a full 10 seconds behind the race leader.
Yeah, I talked to a number of people. I didn't hear anybody talk about any significant tire wear or anything, but nobody ever ran this many laps this weekend either. So be interesting to see. If your car's not handling well, you don't use a lot of brake here, but you can use some brake down into the corner, so could possibly get yourself in trouble there if your car isn't handling very well.
You know, one of the big things that happened, I mean, we're 2 seconds off of the fastest pace set in this race at this point, and when you lose that much grip, I mean, you do have to slow the car down. You got to pedal the throttle. You can't get full throttle right about where you see Regan Smith, all the way to the straightaway before you can get wide open. But Regan's got a good run going so far. He's up in that 4th spot.
9.5 seconds behind the race leader, but this is his first nationwide race since 2007, and Dr. Jerry Punch has more.
Exactly, Marty. As you said, he's not been in a nationwide car for 5.5 years, not testing, not anything, but he was so impressive when he was subbing for Dale Earnhardt Jr. the concussion that Steve Letarte said, you know what, this kid's got a lot of ability. So he was hired full-time for next year to drive the 5-car for Junior Motorsport. Today, it is Steve Letarte, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew chief, calling his shots. It'll be Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pit crew going over the wall. And by the way, Regan Smith has a very good race car, a little tight in the middle, but he is moving toward the front.
Yeah, Doc, before qualifying there, you couldn't wipe the smile off his face because he knows the commitment that the team has put into this. And he said, I am having a blast. He says, there's no pressure right now on this race. We're just going to go out, see what we got, have some fun. Battle for 7th still going on. There's 31 of Justin Allgaier in that battle for the 5th and final spot on the podium. He's trying to hold off the 11 of Brian Scott, and they're both trying to track down Sam Hornish Jr., who's running in 6th. It's Johanna Long. She's a lap down right now. Johanna not having the kind of weekend that we've seen from her in the last few races. They've just not been able to find the setup, DJ.
No, and this is just such a tough racetrack here. To find the grip, you have to go fast, and to go fast and maximize all the downforce and everything that makes your car drive better, it's difficult to find that balance. You need mechanical grip and you need that downforce.
Well, everybody is still chasing Kyle Busch as the laps are really flying by. We have completed 38, now 39 laps, and Kyle's lead is 7.9 seconds. The last year Kyle Busch did not have a nationwide win, 2003, when he was 18 years old. Fans, just another reminder to check out Race Buddy, our enhanced coverage, select Nationwide Series events. We've got more cameras than ever. Just log on to NASCARNationwideSeries.com/RaceBuddy. What's happened so far is that Kyle Busch has led all 45 laps. Elliott Sadler running second, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the points leader, running in the 4th position. And we're getting ready to come up on green flag pit stops as the 54 car has opened up a 6-second lead over Elliott Sadler, and he is just putting on a show right now. This reminds us of days of old when he was running for Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, I'd like to jerk that 54 off here and see if there's an 18 behind it, something like that. It looks like the way that it is. But they have worked hard with this team, and I don't mean to take away from them and the efforts that they've made as they've made this a winning race team and gotten themselves in position once again.
Checking on Joey Logano, who has won 9 times this year. Joey running in the 8th position. Right in front of him is Brian Scott in the 7th spot, and Justin Allgaier right behind, trying to squeeze past, but he's got some catching up to do now as he's falling back a little bit. Here comes Joey, taking a peek underneath.
Yeah, I'm surprised Joey's that far back. He's running 8 right now, looking for that 7th spot, but that's not where he's used to running in this series.
It's a little surprising for sure because these are the type tracks that they've really kind of excelled at this year.
Think we need to peel that number back and see if there's a 54 in it?
You're going to get a phone call after that one.
No, I'm just joking, Dale, because that's what he said about the other one. But going back to Kyle's team, they really have worked hard on this team, and they've got those cars running a lot better. And this will be a good win for that bunch over there if they can pull it off.
Danica Patrick slowing to head for pit road. You saw Michael Annett go by. Danica was running in the top 15. And we're starting to see green flag pit stops. Dave?
Danica was running 16th. That was 2 positions worse than where she started. That's because the car will not turn. So they're going to go up on the track bar 2 full rounds. Give her 4 tires and Sunoco fuel.
So they continue on the left side of the car. Out on the track, Kyle Busch continuing to motor around. The 5 is in. Doc, it's yours.
Yeah, 3rd place car, Regan Smith, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 88 crew from the Cup Series, hitting the car. He said the car was getting a little bit tight, but getting better. Left side tires going on the 5 car now, filling up with fuel, slight air pressure, no other adjustments. Now right in front of him is the 31 car, Justin Allgaier. Chassis adjustment, right rear. Allgaier said the car way too tight getting up off the corner. He said I was getting so much front end pop, I couldn't turn the car. Air pressure and chassis, Allgaier away. Vince.
The 54 of Kyle Busch. He's been the man in front all race long so far, and his car is good, just a tick free. So they're going to make a 4-tire change and put some wedge in it as well for the leader, Kyle Busch. Jamie?
Elliott Sadler said he just wants a little bit of help, but the car is getting better as they run. The track is freeing up. Track bar adjustment, 4 tires for Elliott Sadler. Vince?
The 6-year championship leader, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., just lacks overall grip. They made an air pressure adjustment. You also saw him go down on the track bar to give him a little bit more stability in the front and rear.
So the 2 championship contenders are caught. There is the 3 of Austin Dillon running 3rd in the championship points. What I'm surprised about, DJ and Andy, is that that 2 car did not stay out to lead a lap.
Yeah, you can't afford to because there's so much to be gained with these new tires. If he waited just 1 more lap, he'd have lost a couple more seconds. He's already too far behind. Jamie?
And Joey Logano saying he had a 4-wheel drift on exit, 2 loose, 4 tires, air pressure, spring rubber, and track bar down. All kinds of changes to get this car snugged up.
The 88 of Cole Witt just says it's too loose off. It's tight across the center and then loose off. And he says it's changed since the sun has gone down. So they made an air pressure adjustment, cleaning off their grill, and 4 tires for Cole Witt.
So as he comes back out on the track, we can tell you that Joey Logano did lead 1 lap. And Kyle Busch is shown back in the race lead right now. And you can see how the points still stack up with Stenhouse leading by 19.
And in that exchange there through the pit stops, Regan Smith was able to get out in front of Elliott Sadler, so he's taken over the 2nd spot now.
Behind Sadler in 4th, it is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And Sam Hornish is running in 5th.
And just that one lap we were talking about on those tires, he pitted one lap sooner than Elliott Sadler, and obviously had a good pit stop.
Why didn't we run one more lap right there? I just ran over something. Definitely debris on the racetrack. I just ran over it.
So he was asking the same question that I asked you guys, but then all of a sudden now there's some concern in his voice because he said he ran over something. Luke Lambert on the right. Jamie, what are you hearing down there?
Well, he's talking to the team. They got the binoculars out to zoom in on the front of that car. He said, whatever I hit it square. Doesn't look like there's any damage right there on the splitter, but he said what I'm more worried about is the radiator puncturing a hole in it. So he's keeping a close eye on his gauges right now, and you can see a better look, great camera view right there. The splitter looks okay right now.
And our crew back in the production truck are checking to see if there was any video recorded, and they say nothing so far. So looks like everything's going to be okay for the number 2, but a bit of a scare. You could hear it in Elliott's voice.
Yeah, the driver knows that. And it could have just been something as simple as a water bottle on the straightaway. Once again, after pit stops, one of the drivers throwing that out. Maybe it not getting all the way off the track and it's went up underneath. Doesn't look like any damage so far.
54 laps of green flag racing. 17 cars are shown on the lead lap. That's right, just 17, and we're just past a quarter of the race. And right now, Elliott Sadler finds himself ahead of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but only by 1 position on the racetrack, which means Stenhouse is in control of the championship. As of right now, Sadler still chasing. Tensions were high today in our race for the Nationwide Championship, and Brad Keselowski is going to try to hold off 5-time champ Jimmy Johnson in the final race of the season to determine the championship and earn his spot in history. It's the NASCAR chase for the Sprint Cup. It's the Ford Ecoboost 400 right here tomorrow, 1:30 on ESPN. Work still going on back in the garage area for the prep for tomorrow's race. Sunset here, 61 green flag laps. If you're wondering, the longest green flag stretch here has been 65 laps in Homestead. That was back in 2008, so we're closing in on a bit of a record for the track. And Kyle Busch has led all but one of those laps. His lead over Regan Smith, guys, now 9.5 seconds. And you were saying you thought Regan might be one of the cars that could contend with him right now?
Well, just looking at lap times, it looked like that would be, but he'd have to have a caution at some point to get called up to see what he could possibly do. But yeah, it's a huge lead. Kyle Busch is just doing an amazing job. We just haven't seen this team be this dominant anywhere, but Regan Smith's doing a fine job here. Boy, this is a sign of things to come. They'll be right in the middle of things next year.
A little bit farther back, just about a second, is Elliott Sadler, who is running in the 3rd position. And Andy, I mean, he's doing all he can. It's just that the man right behind him, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., is staying right there in his mirror.
Yeah, I'm watching lap times. I think they made a good adjustment on that green flag stop and have his car just a little bit better. Both of these guys making those green flag stops really pretty close. The teams did a good job, and the drivers both, neither one of them made a mistake under green.
Well, we talked with Hollywood Armstrong about, how these guys could affect their championship effort on pit road, and look at how close this was.
Yeah, right there toe-to-toe. The crews are identical. See just a 1/10 of a second difference in the time down pit road for the driver.
So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. running in the 4th position. The 12th car of Sam Hornish Jr. shown in the 5th spot. And, he's got Ryan Scott in the 11, not too far behind him. In fact, there's both of those cars, the yellow cars coming at you. The 12 first, the 11 second one in line.
Once again, seeing this 11 of Brian Scott do some good stuff. Now, let's see. Here we are 64 laps into this race. We've seen this before from them. Can they finish this off? Man, it'd be a great thing to see Brian Scott be able to do that, because they've had so many things to happen with this race team. But it's really a good team. Brian Scott does a nice job, but they haven't had a lot of luck on their side, Dave.
They haven't, DJ. The car looked good coming off that last corner, which is where Brian has had some of his issues this year. On that first pit stop, they made a wedge and an air pressure adjustment for him. The car was having difficulty turning. He just radioed in. The car is more free this run. That leads me to believe that it's still a little bit tight. He'd like a little bit more turn in the car, but not a bad run so far. He picked up 1 spot. on that exchange of pit stops. Ryan Truex in trouble.
Yes, into the wall. Our first caution.
Back it down. Wrecking off a 4 here. Wrecking off a 4.
Working lap number 66.
Watch for debris here, late exit.
He was running 13th at the time, and Ryan, of course, trying to impress somebody so that he could get a full-time ride next season. This is not the kind of impression you wanted to leave. Let's go back, take a look, see exactly what happened to the 20.
Looks like he gets up into the wall there to start with as he's trying to get off. It's almost like he's got a tire down. I guess he just turned it too hard. That's a mistake there. You've been better off just locking that thing down and trying to keep it off the walls.
As slick and treacherous as this track is, I'm surprised we ran 66 laps without having one of these already.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Andy. I really thought that we'd be seeing some spins, just because we saw a lot happening in the Cup practices earlier today.
In fact, we were talking about the most we've ever had is 14 cautions. The fewest is 1, and we were saying, okay, the over-under is 6. And we all thought that it was probably going to be about 7, 8 cautions, and here we are, 66 laps into a 200-lap race, and our first caution of the day. Everybody gearing up for pit stops. The free pass will go to the number 21 of Joey Coulter. And here come the race leaders, led by Kyle Busch, who has led 65 of the 66 laps that we have raced so far. Send it to Dr. Jerry Punch. He's got the 5 car coming in first.
Yeah, Ricky Smith saying the car much better than it was, but still free on throttle. Cannot get in the throttle coming up off the corner. Half a pound of air out of the right rear. They will change 4 tires. Vince.
The 6 car, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he says it is much more free this round. They're going to drop the track bar down 2 rounds, no tires, Sunoco fuel.
See the race off pit road. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with no tires picks up 2 spots. Kyle Busch drops 1. Austin Dillon picks up 3. Ryan Blaney picks up 5. And look at Danica Patrick picking up 7 positions. So we'll sort it back out for you when we come back. The final race of the NASCAR Nationwide season for 2012. The championship on the line between Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Elliott Sadler. Started the race pretty much as we expected. A lot of action behind race leader Kyle Busch, who's really dominated, leading 66 total laps. This is the reason for our first caution. Young Ryan Truex gets into the wall, and we find ourselves with some strategy going on here because, guys, Elliott Sadler stayed out to lead a lap. That was 18 laps ago before this caution came out, so his tires are 18 laps older.
Well, don't forget this series, they have a restriction on how many sets of tires that they have available to them. They've got 6 total sets, including the ones that they start the race on and practice.
2-4, Elliott, that's 15 laps of green. I think we need to save a set right here. 4, I got you. All good.
Yeah, so you have 1 set for practice, and then you've got 1 on the car to start the race, 4 on the ground. And Jamie, let's get more on this 2-car strategy.
Well, Luke Lambert continued there on that conversation. He said, hey, we can go 40 laps from here, Elliott, so we're going to be fine. And Elliott said 10-4. He's all about being in front and leading some laps now.
So now because of this caution, Elliott Sadler has led. Joey Logano led 1 lap. Kyle Busch has led 66. We have a total of 18 cars on the lead lap, and the pace car is getting ready to pull off. And Sadler and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. side by side. Now Stenhouse took 2 tires. Here we go, back to green flag racing. Kyle Busch looking down low on that 54.
Still 3 wide.
Wow, what a call.
I was wondering if the 6 might be able to lead, but I was thinking it'd be the 2 that he'd have to pass, which he wasn't able to do. But Kyle Busch, not letting anybody forget who's been dominant here so far.
Notice that to 22, Ryan Blaney. As he comes back out, he's in the 4th spot now.
Hey, this kid's really impressive. Ryan Blaney does a really good job. Hasn't gotten the qualifying down pat in these cars yet. But when it comes time to race, he does a solid job.
Can you see? Look at Regan Smith. Regan going underneath the 22. And we can tell when we have fresh tires, guys, because there's a lot of guys hunting the bottom.
You see Ricky Stenhouse trying to stay out there on those old tires and fend off a really fast car. This 5 car is really fast today, and he got new tires. Regan Smith doing a great job in that thing.
Sam Hornish Jr. looking under his Penske teammate in that 22.
The one thing that'll happen is the 2 and the 6 will have some tires possibly when these other guys don't, if we should get a late caution here later on.
Robert Richardson Jr. has come around, hits the wall gently on the inside.
All right, come on.
And our second caution is out.
I could barely tap the wall there.
So we went 65 green flag laps, and now we've gone just a few.
And there's things that, and
These are back up here.
something that could possibly come into play, but these are the kind of things that Ricky Stenhouse really is not looking to happen, because that puts somebody in the free pass situation. It's going to be Kenny Wallace, I believe, this time that gets the free pass. So another car back on the lead lap. If Stenhouse should have trouble late in this race and finish on at the end of the lead lap, then that gives Sadler an opportunity to catch up.
This is halfway through already as Robert Richardson sideways.
Wow, that could have been a lot bigger. Whew.
That's Joey Coulter in the 21 that just got by. He was running 27th, 2 laps down. He just lost it.
Yeah, just trying. That might be getting up there a little too far and trying to get in the gas a little too hard.
Got into the 81 of Jason Bowles. And you were correct. The 99 of Kenny Wallace does get the free pass. 19 cars back on the lead lap.
I just ran over something in 1 and 2, went underneath the center, checked the splitter.
Well, this is the second driver that we've had that report, and let's check his splitter. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, looks good to us, Kyle. Don't see anything there. You just worry about that going under the car, maybe getting a piece of one of the tires. Anything else, like we heard earlier, they were worried about some of that debris maybe going through the grill and getting the radiator, but it looks fine on Kyle's car.
Well, with some of the luck that this car and this team has had this year, it doesn't surprise me that he's paranoid about every little thing.
Yeah, you could kind of hear that in his voice right there, because it just, I mean, after a while, you kind of wonder what's going to be the next thing. And with the car the way he has it right now, looks like it's unbeatable.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how good he was on that last restart. We're going to get another look. So as this yellow flag continues, we're going to step aside for just a moment as it's Kyle Busch still looking for that all-elusive first victory here in 2012. We are still under a caution. You can see the debris down at pit out, as we'll show you exactly why this extended caution is going on with the 23 of Robert Richardson.
Looks like he has a tire go down and it starts coming apart and taking part of that foam out of the right side. We've got a bunch of foam that goes out between the door and the roll bars, roll cage, and some of that's coming out.
And you saw the 54 quick glimpse there of Kyle Busch as he went by and got through the debris. Gives us a chance to talk to our in-race reporter, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who is, no pun intended, in the driver's seat as far as this championship goes, DJ.
Ricky, Dale Jarrett, you with us?
Yes, sir, Dale, I got you.
Well, looks like so far so good in this battle for the championship for you. Track giving you anything that you weren't expecting so far?
It's been pretty spot on so far, Dale. We were a little tight in the first run. We thought we tightened it up enough the second run, but the track got freer as it generally does for us here at Homestead. So we came in, saved a set of tires there, made another adjustment, and hopefully we can get a caution with about 20 to go, put them new fresh ones on and make a run at it.
Yeah, I thought you might get kind of excited having that set of tires and knowing what that might allow you to do late in this race.
Yes, sir, for sure. As you know, when you have a racetrack that wears out, you can, a fresh set of tires in there. You know what you can do with that. So it always makes for a fun race.
All right, thanks for talking.
So let's remind you of what's at stake here as far as the championship and what Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has to do. The easiest way is 16th or better, and it doesn't matter what Elliott Sadler does. It is Ricky's championship. 17th or better if he leads a lap. He has not done that yet. And it's highly unlikely with the way Kyle Busch is running that he will lead the most laps or anybody else, but you see the scenario there. This one's still far from over. We're 77 laps completed of the 200 here at the Ford Ecoboost 300. View of downtown Miami, just about a 30-minute drive. Well, that's if it's not rush hour. It's about 35 minutes to the north from here. But it is a beautiful city. And as you can see, the sun setting here as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. You can see the lights are out on the pace car. We've knocked down 79 of 200 laps. And on the front row, it will be Kyle Busch, who has been the dominant car in this race so far. He's led 75 of the laps. And he has decided to take the high side, driver's right. Alongside is Elliott Sadler, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Regan Smith in row number 2. And then Sam Hornish Jr., Ryan Blaney in row 3. And in row 4, Brian Scott, Justin Allgaier. Allgaier in that battle for 5th. And then you see Austin Dillon, Brendan Gaughan, 2 of the RCR cars. Pace car has pulled down. Kyle Busch slowly bringing him towards the green flag. He had a great restart last time.
Actually, the caution flag was waving.
They brought the yellow back out. They have added a lap, so luckily we did not have an accordion crash.
Yeah, spotters definitely doing their job right there, because it looked like everything was coming to the green flag. The pace car had come off the racetrack. We were hearing in our ear that they were going to add a lap to this caution, but boy, I tell you, that could have been bad.
Yeah, confused us because the pace car, you're right, did pull down. And everybody kept coming towards the green flag, and luckily, no mishap. So we'll go one more time around, and the pressure continues to build as we have 120 laps to go. You know, we've talked so much about the championship. How about if we let Elliott Sadler talk about his chance to win this title?
We can still put ourselves in position to win this race and get maximum points. If we get maximum points, anything can happen. You know, there's no guarantees in a 300-mile race. So that's why I think the 2 car still has a chance to win the championship, because we got such a strong team.
Right now, it looks like Kyle Busch has the maximum car, but, I mean, it still comes down to what Ricky Stenhouse does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And Elliott has to be there to take advantage if something should happen to Stenhouse. And as I mentioned a minute ago, you know, if there's a problem late in the race with 19 cars on the lead lap right now for the 6 car and Elliott's running second, then that could possibly be enough to get him the championship.
Points gap was 20, and remember, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. holds the tiebreaker, so he actually needs to outscore him by 21. Here we go, on board with Ricky as we head for the green flag and the restart. Kyle Busch, the race leader. Boy, look at the way he carries that corner. Again, Kyle Busch gets a great restart, 3 wide. Ryan Blaney, the 5 of Regan Smith.
I'll tell you the one thing about this strategy the 6 is using here of not taking tires. It puts him in a little bit of a spot with all these cars, fast cars, coming behind him with tires. And he's in a jam right here.
And Justin Allgaier wants to get by. He's in that battle for the 5th and final spot at the podium at the banquet on Monday night. That is the 5 of Regan Smith underneath him.
You can watch how these cars really can use the draft, too, as they come up. There's a group of cars, because of the horsepower that they have, it really helps them to utilize that, and somebody make a big run on you at the end of the straightaway, and you're not expecting it.
Brendan Gaughan in that 33. He's already heading up to the top of the racetrack. There's Sam Hornish. Sam hasn't cracked into that top 5 consistently, sniffed around there a little bit, but finds himself back a little bit further right now. And there is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. still in this mix, and now here comes Allgaier. So he's going to drop a spot here. Allgaier gets around him.
Yeah, and Andy was right in what he was saying about put you in a vulnerable position, but he has a lot of positions to play with right here, and so you know, he can be a little bit more conservative right at this point and just get himself in a position to where he can kind of ride at this time.
The problem is he can't control some of this. Some of these cars are going to come up on him and maybe make a mistake around him and put him in a box. But Elliott Sadler, now for him, it's a great strategy. Good gamble. And I said he needed to gamble when this race started, and that's exactly what he's doing.
There goes Sam Hornish Jr. as he is attacking the 31. Now the 6 has the 33 side by side. That's Brendan Gaughan. That's another one of the 4 RCR cars. So now, as you can see at the top of the screen, the lead's down to 16.
Yeah, it looked like Ricky was pretty aware that that's an RCR car, too. So he gave him plenty of room.
There's Elliott Sadler with Regan Smith in his mirror. That is for second place on the track, and here comes Regan. Well, how about this? If Regan Smith could somehow come back after a 5-year hiatus from the series and in his first race come out and put on this kind of performance, maybe even have something for Kyle Busch.
I think it says a lot about where Junior Motorsports has gone, too, to be able to put another car out here at this kind of effort. We talked about how the 7 and the 88 have improved, and here's just another example of that.
Well, to give you an idea, the 88 of Cole Witt is running in 8th. Danica Patrick, she is running 11th right now. So all 3 of those cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, Danica came in and got tires on that last caution. It didn't take them the previous time, but she came and got 4 tires that last time, using it to her advantage right now, making some passes back in the pack.
There she is with Ryan Blaney side by side. And there is Austin Dillon also in the mix.
Yeah, Austin, another one of those that only took fuel 2 cautions ago. So you can see he's starting to slide back a little bit.
Dave, what are you hearing on that 7 car?
Marty, DJ explained what Danica did. Here was a discussion that led to it.
What do you think, Danica? Think you can ride this out for a little while or not? That would give us a big advantage for later on. But if you think it's really bad, you're in bad shape right now, we'll just get tires.
Like I said, in the truck, the risk is that if you drop too far back, then if you go a lap down. So let's just be smart.
With those fresh tires, she's picked up 4 spots since the restart, going for 5 beneath Brad Sweet.
And she's 5 seconds behind the race lead.
Yeah, if you got a good race car, you can stay out there on old tires and maybe make this thing work. But if you're a kind of a mediocre car and you stay out there, you're going to lose a ton of time. And you see Elliott Sadler, he's got a pretty good car. He's kind of maintaining with his. He's still sitting up there in the top 5. He'll probably lose a few more spots, but it's kind of working for Elliott. But if you don't have a car as good as Elliott's, then sometimes it just doesn't pay off to do that.
Yeah, and I like Danica speaking up there. That's really good that she understands that, because if you have that set of tires but you lost a lap, it doesn't do you much good to have that. So let's use it while we can, work on it, make the car better right now, go forward, and she is doing exactly that.
Sam Hornish Jr. on the move, moves Sam into that 3rd spot after he gets around Elliott Sadler, and he is trying to close in on Regan Smith. So a little bit of mix that's different from earlier in the race, because you got Hornish running 3rd, Brendan Gaughan now running in the 5th spot. Everybody is still chasing Kyle Busch. He has led 85 of the 89 laps. And of course, Kyle leads all drivers with 17 wins on the 1.5-mile tracks, but he's not won on a 1.5-mile track since Homestead here in 20.
Celebrate with friends at Pancho Villa's in Fontana with
or breastfeeding should not use
Miami Speed.
As little as $10 a month for Androgel 1.62%. What are you waiting for? This is big news.
We're under our 3rd caution here at Homestead Miami Speedway as a result of Robert Richardson going around. This time he did make contact as he has got some damage. Let's show you exactly why we're under the caution. He's right up against the wall, brushes it there.
Almost looks like a replay.
Yeah, it didn't work last time either.
There goes the tire. No one else collected in this 3rd caution incident. But we do have a new race leader. And it happened before the caution came out. Pit road is open. We'll tell you it is Regan Smith with Sam Hornish Jr. 2nd and Kyle Busch 3rd. And everybody is coming. And Kyle Busch may be the happiest one of the bunch.
Yeah, when Danica stays out right there, she took those tires the last caution.
Let's send it down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
And Steve Letarte has opted to save a set of tires for Regan Smith. Going to go up a half round on the track bar, put tape on the front, hoping that'll fix a tight condition, but still save 2 sets of tires. Jamie.
Elliott Sadler expects his car to loosen up on sticker tires, so they're going to stay ahead of it. Track bar adjustment for tires, Vince.
Sam Hornish loose on entry, but they took fuel only, no tires. The 6 of Ricky Stenhouse a little bit too free. They're tightening him up just a tick. 4 tire change for Stenhouse. Remember, he didn't take any tires the previous stop. So Ricky getting 4 fresh Goodyears and snugged up just a bit. A clean windshield as well.
And look at that, a 16-second stop for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Here's the race off pit road. You see Hornish picks up 1. Regan Smith loses 1. Kyle Busch holds station. Elliott Sadler drops 3. Ryan Blaney picks up 3. All right, let's go back and show you what happened on the number 2 pit stop.
Oh,
no.
He'll be coming back. Yep, they have to have them all on there.
Oh, and what was it that we talked about with
Mistakes.
Mark Hollywood Armstrong? The pressure on the pit crews. We'll come back and we'll reset it for you. Bad news for Elliott Sadler. They call it deja vu all over again. This is last year for the 2 car. Notice the official on the right rear. Fellas, you're missing a lug nut. And Elliott would have to come back in just like he did here, and he had a speeding penalty on top of it last year. He came back to finish in that race 6th. Now here is what happened. Check the left front, and you can see the lug nut fall off. The official catches it, and he had to come back in. And right now he is shown in 19th position.
Elliott, we'll overcome this, brother. You drove from the back twice here last year. Keep digging hard. We'll overcome this. 10-4, we'll keep digging here.
Good news for Elliott. 3 drivers this year have won after pit infractions this season. Take a look who's in the lead. Danica Patrick, she stayed out, takes driver's right alongside of Sam Hornish Jr., then Kyle Busch, Regan Smith, and Brian Scott, and we're green. And on those old tires, Danica's in a bad position.
Well, a number of those drivers too there, Kyle and Regan Smith and Sam Hornish only got fuel that time, so they kind of got back on the same page with Stenhouse and Sadler, even though those 2 have tires, but they're well back now, so they still have the same amount of tires right now. But Danica struggling on this restart.
Right in the middle of the racetrack there. That's Brendan Gaughan underneath. We're going to try it 4 wide here, and that's Austin Dillon down low in the 3. Somehow everybody's making it through.
The problem is for Ricky Stenhouse, he's back right in behind all of this, seeing this 4 wide situation. He doesn't really like what he's seeing, I'm sure.
There's Ricky's view. He is side by side with Danica right now. That is for 11th on the racetrack, and we still have 3 wide right in front of him.
Well, you can hear him just having to pedal that throttle.
Saw that 98 car. That is Kevin Swindell. He's given this another good ride. He's running in that 12th position right now and still got a bit of a log jam there. You can also see the 2 of Elliott Sadler working his way back up. Take a look at the points right now. As they run, you can see that Austin Dillon would move ahead of Elliott Sadler and take over the 2nd spot.
There's only 5 points between Austin Dillon and his teammate Elliott Sadler, so he could actually finish 2nd in points pretty easily.
Everybody chasing Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse now shown in the 10th position. There you see him right in the middle of your screen. And this is it that uncomfortable feeling that when you're in the championship lead, you don't want to be here?
No, you don't want to be here at all. And Ricky's doing a nice job of being patient. He has those fresh tires, so he's faster than these cars, but he's doing a really good job of not, well, I was going to say pressing the issue as he goes 3 wide in the middle here.
Slides up close to the 33 of Brendan Gaughan. And the left side, you also could see that Kyle Busch has been bumped back to the 4th position. So as the sun has gone down, Kyle's dominant car has gone away.
I'm almost thinking something's wrong with Kyle's car because that just is like a light switch. He was just dominant, and then all of a sudden, he just can't keep up.
That is Sam Hornish Jr. coming right at you. 2nd place, got a good battle go on. Here comes the 3 underneath the 5.
Yeah, I believe he got tires that last time. He was one of those cars that opted earlier on when a number of teams took tires that he didn't. He had that set, so he put those on here. That's really showing up right now.
Sam Hornish, our 6th different leader. Austin Dillon trying to take second spot away from the 5 of Regan Smith.
He knows if he can get up and win this race, anything can happen from his perspective too. If the 2 and the 6 should both encounter some problems. Oh! Brendan Gaughan with a little message there to Brad Sweet.
That was a
time
drop
to get
kick.
going.
On the left side of your screen, Brendan, who always loves the high side of a racetrack, especially on the 1.5 miles, still up there in that 33. Right side of your screen, Austin Dillon trying to put pressure on race leader Sam Hornish Jr. Here comes Dillon down the backstretch looking for the race lead. And he made it look pretty easy.
Yeah, it just shows what tires will do. I mean, this Austin's had a pretty good car, and I know they've made some adjustments, but having those fresher tires just makes such a huge difference.
Notice who's right there in 4th. That was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So he has gotten himself out of that logjam, Andy.
Yeah, and you see right here, Ryan Blaney taking the spot, trying to take the spot away from Kyle Busch. Kyle didn't get tires either. And so this, whatever problem he's having, could just be this set of tires doesn't agree with him, and he's still on them. What did they do that last time? Did they adjust on the car that last time, Vince?
On that 3 car of Austin Dillon, they did. In fact, Danny Stockman Jr., the crew chief, has told Austin a couple of different times about the fact that, you know, I know that we're making some longer stops here, but we got to make these adjustments. You're going to be happy with it a little bit later. And that's exactly what the situation is with Austin. Now, as far as the 54 is concerned of Kyle Busch, Kyle says it's just a little bit too loose. They went too far on that initial that last adjustment during the previous pit stop. Here's the radio from Kyle on that adjustment.
Feels like it's falling over on the right rear. We've done too much over there. It's out of the air. Need to go back up a round or so and put the track bar down 2 rounds or so.
There you hear it. He led so much of this race, and now he's down second. Good battle, left side of the screen, and that's Regan Smith going by the 12 of Sam Hornish.
And put Regan up into the 2nd spot as Austin Dillon is about another second ahead of these 2. Want to know about Elliott Sadler? Remember, he restarted 19th after having to come back in for that loose lug nut. He has moved into the 10th position, side by side with Justin Allgaier.
Okay, looks like he might get a couple of spots right here.
If he can get past both of them, moves him into 8th.
He does get one of them.
Yeah, you can see that got a little bit of a break being able to slide up, but he was fighting that car extremely loose as he was trying to get up off the bottom of the corner there, Jamie. What are they saying about this 2-car?
Well, Elliott's just saying, I am way, way, way too loose. And you guys, they avoided what could have been another issue. As you see Ricky Stenhouse gain 1 more position as he goes around Sam Hornish Jr. But NASCAR was going to penalize the 2 for fueling when they came in for that loose lug. But of course, in the end, they said there's no such rule. They won. They did top off.
I don't know if I've heard that rule either.
Well, the 2-car gets around Brad Sweet. So now Sadler in the 8th spot, but the bad news for him is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the championship hunt is now running in 3rd. There you see Regan Smith, the other race leaders. Here comes Ricky Stenhouse. Now he's looking for 2nd on Regan Smith.
Made some big swings. Now it's back a little loose. 10 north.
Yeah, I believe the track's going to that side because we've heard a couple of cars, and Kyle Busch was one of them, making some of these adjustments and making these swings in the way the car's driving. I heard Elliott Sadler say his car was very tight in the beginning of the race, and now it's loose after they've made a slight adjustment to it. So I believe the track is going in that direction.
Yeah, and I think that's what Ricky told us when we talked to him a couple of cautions ago, that his car had been on the tight side, but he was anticipating it was starting to free up. He anticipated it to do even more as the sun went down.
He was running the middle of the track on the last 2 corners, not able to get around. But right now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. well in control of marching towards his 2nd straight championship. Just 88 laps to go.
We have our own championship battle underway in South Florida, just a little bit south from Homestead Miami Speedway. Lots of different strategies out on the track this evening. For example, the last round of pit stops, Rusty, couple cars came in, took no tires. Danica Patrick stayed out, didn't take any, obviously.
Well, there's definitely a different strategy for everybody, Ray, and that's something that we're going to see throughout the night.
Yeah, you know, what we're seeing is guys playing poker with different sets of tires. When the Nationwide Series, they're limited on the number of tires that they can use, so when to put them on, when to hang on to them. We saw a lot of that going on during the middle of the race, and it looks like Austin Dillon and Ricky Stenhouse have dealt the best hands, played that the best. But I think it would be a moot point if we have another caution, because right now all the competitive cars seem to have 2 sets of tires left, which will be a factor at the end of the race.
Yeah, all the competitive guys seem to be in the best position as we get down to 80 laps to go. But I'm noticing as we're sitting down here at turn 1, it has cooled off pretty significantly outside, and you can hear these guys getting out of the throttle a little bit quicker down here as they get into the corner. That tells me that those engines are picking up some horsepower, picking up a little bit of speed, and they're maximizing them. So more speed, more push in the corner, going to need those tires as we get down.
Well, the track change is a big thing right now, guys. You see it right there. We started the race at 87 degrees. Now it's currently 80 degrees. And the track is cooling off, and it's definitely changing. And what I noticed is a lot of drivers now are saying, hey, I'm getting loose. And generally when the track nowadays cools down, these cars get a lot looser. And I believe we're seeing a little bit of that trend. It's not a big change, but I'm hearing a lot of guys talking loose right now.
You know, again, they run the right rear springs in these cars so stiff to keep the spoilers up in the air that as the track cools off, they do slide a little bit. And again, we have seen certain teams be able to adjust. We heard Austin Dillon on his radio a little while ago say, hey, I've got a race car now. You know, it could be because of the tires, but the guys that can stay ahead of track changes end up in the front at the end of these races.
Things are changing on the track. Things are also changing atop the leaderboard. Let's go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance, our top 3 in points. Vince, what's up with the points leader?
Well, the man that is in front of this race right now is that 3 car of Austin Dillon. He's your race leader. Came into this final race of the season 3rd in points, now up to 2nd in the standings. His crew chief, Danny Stockman's been working on the car, and Austin likes what he's got.
Good job, boys. Got a race car now.
10-4. It looks a lot better here. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Danny Stockman told me just before the race, we've got nothing to lose. I'll gamble whenever necessary. As far as the 2nd place car on track, that is the points leader, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., going for his 2nd consecutive Nationwide Series championship. Says the car is just a little bit too free, mainly in 3 and 4, but otherwise it's pretty solid. Jamie?
And look who's moved up into the 5th position, Elliott Sadler. After one heck of a year together as a team, they are breaking up after tonight. Of course, crew chief Luke Lambert moving up to the Cup Series with Jeff Burton. And meanwhile, word in the garage that Elliott Sadler will be racing for Joe Gibbs Racing next year in the Nationwide Series. Of course, that has not been announced yet, but since the restart, he has gained 14 positions and continues to go forward. Nicole?
Top 3 in points, separated by 22 as they run right now. Anything can happen in these final 77 laps. We'll take you the rest of the way when we come back.
Championship on the line between Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and that man Elliott Sadler. Sadler, though, sent back to the 19th position on a restart after a loose lug nut. But it was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. also, too, finding his car to his liking as the sun set. And right now Stenhouse is in 2nd place, but Elliott Sadler is running in 4th. So our championship's still on the line, and what about tomorrow? Because we'll crown a champion for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Is it Brad Keselowski in his 3rd full season, or does 5-time Jimmy Johnson turn it into a 6-pack at the Ford Ecoboost 400? We kick it off with Countdown at 1:30 Eastern on ESPN tomorrow. You can watch it live also on Watch ESPN. Here comes Elliott Sadler as he has taken a peek underneath Regan Smith, and that is for 3rd position. What a comeback. Remember, he restarted 19th, guys.
That's just driving straight up through the field, passing every one of these cars. No help from any caution. He's got a good car. He made a change or an adjustment on this car after the first run, and I think it's made it a lot better.
Yeah, it's made it a lot better, especially in the long run. He's having problems still. Looks like he's still a little bit on the free side when he tries to go to the bottom, and that's what he's going to have to do as he tries to pick up these last few positions up towards the front. Regan Smith running right against the wall, so he's going to have to be able to get some drive off the corner. See if Elliott kind of fighting him right there. Still a little bit on the free side, but they'll get another adjustment here.
We've lost right rear lateral grip. We've lost right rear lateral grip. That's what I mean.
Andy, explain what he's talking about.
He's just getting looser and freer, and I think having to really fight these better cars. He was able to make a lot of passes, pretty easy passes coming up to this point. Car was really fast. It was probably a little free. But this thing now probably needs an adjustment. I think the track's getting a little bit cooler, and they may need to tighten this thing up a little bit more, Jamie.
Well, that's exactly what crew chief Luke Lambert was thinking on the last stop. They put some sticker tires on, and he knew that the car would get even more free, so they were thinking ahead and went down on the track bar to tighten him up. Obviously, as you guys said, he needs a little bit more of that on the next stop.
And of course, everybody is chasing now Austin Dillon. He is our 7th different leader, and he is way up ahead of Elliott Sadler right now.
Yeah, because Elliott can't really trust that right rear right now. He's not able to get right up there against the wall and make maximum speed.
There is Austin. His lead is now 8 seconds over Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And for Austin, that's the same car that he won both Kentucky races with. And so obviously looking for his 3rd win this year. What a job that young rookie has done. He has finished on the lead lap in every race but one. There you see Elliott Sadler, who is 10 seconds behind Austin Dillon, still running in that 4th position.
It's a really interesting top 10 that we're looking at here. There's really only one full-time Sprint Cup driver that's up in the top 10. That would be Kyle Busch, who's falling back to the 8th spot right now.
And you know, you mentioned that as we're holding for the 6 car, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. The last 8 races at Homestead have been won by Cup drivers.
I think compared to the 3, we just had to use our tires up quite a bit getting through that traffic.
I got something coming for you.
Are they match perfect staggered special?
Yep.
There we go with Days of Thunder again.
Yeah, he's not falling for it.
Going around the 40 of Eric Darnell, lap traffic. Darnell running 26th. He's 3 laps down. In fact, now only 19 cars on the lead lap as Jeremy Clements and Danica Patrick have also gone 1 lap down. And we are getting closer to some potential green flag stops. There is your top 5. Austin Dillon out in front. Race leader, Austin Dillon, now 2nd in the points the way they're running. There you see him in the upper right, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And points leader in Elliott Sadler. Stenhouse running 2nd, Sadler running 4th. And here comes Regan Smith by on the high side to take over 2nd spot if he can hold on to it.
Yeah, this 5's a really, really good car. He doesn't, these cars that he's racing right here, see Stenhouse a little bit loose down the bottom, but the 6, the 2, and the 3 up in front all have fresher tires than what Regan Smith has. See Stenhouse struggling with his car a little bit, but he's just going to do what he has to do right now and let Sadler go by on the outside.
You notice how quickly he dove to the left.
Didn't put up much of a fight there, did he?
As you pointed out, all he has to do is finish 16th or better in this race. It does not matter what Elliott does for the championship. Notice right now, Sadler and Dillon would be tied for 2nd in the points. They're both 18 behind. This has been a great comeback for Elliott. Restarted 19th after the penalty. Finds himself at least back in the hunt, but he still needs something to happen to that 6 car.
Worst we've ever been here.
Okay, 4 back to the 33 all by himself.
That was the 6 radio. And as he continues to fall back a little bit, here comes the 33 of Brendan Gaughan. Another one of the 4 Richard Childress racing machines.
He's probably thinking most of the field's RCR. It seems like everything coming around him is that. And all 4 of them are in the top 9, so they're doing a nice job. Joey Coulter back in 9th.
Vince, what's the latest on that 6 car?
You know, one of the things that's kind of got Ricky a little confused is that the car has been going from loose in the center to tight in the center. And Ricky's made note of that on multiple occasions tonight about how it feels one way during one portion of the run, and then it switches back the other direction at a different portion of the run. And that's the one thing they're trying to get their finger on right now, but he's in a pretty good position right now, despite the fact that the 33 just went around.
So bump Stenhouse back to the 5th position. doing one thing that the spotter was telling him. He's giving himself plenty of room off that wall.
Yeah, and I think that's becoming even more so as he's gotten into this run, and this car, the handling's gone away quite a bit on it. So it's like Regan Smith may be hitting pit road.
Yep, Regan is coming down pit road, Doc, heading your way.
78 laps on this set of tires. Regan said it was free in and free off. Stevie Leclerc said maybe we'll go down to the track bar, and then he called it off. Said no, if we go down on the track bar, I'll make you too tight in the middle. We're going to put right side tires, top it off with Sunoco fuel. They think they've got a car that can win this race. Marty?
As you're finishing up your report, you notice on the right side of your screen, the 3 car, the race leader, Austin Dillon, has just gotten between Allgaier and Annette. And now he's gotten right up on the back bumper of Annette. Those guys are fighting for the 5th and final spot on the podium and 5th in the championship. And right now that would go to Michael Annette. While all this is going on, here comes Ryan Blaney, Doc.
What a run for the 18-year-old kid. So impressive, finishing second in this car last time out of Texas. Starting 20th, running all the way to the top 10. It'll be 4 tires, add wedge, are very, very free. Vince.
The 54 of Kyle Busch has been so much of this night in front of the field as the race leader, but the car has gone loose on him, and it has not been the race car he had early in the night. It's going to be a 4th tire change for Kyle Busch, trying to snug it up a little bit with some air pressure. Jamie.
And Elliott Sadler said he's lacking right rear lateral grip. That has been the main problem. He has driven from 19th up to the front pack once again. 4 tires here, air pressure adjustment. They're going to take their time and hit every single lug nut. Remember last time they dropped it. Marty?
And our race leader Austin Dillon is coming in as well as he makes his way down pit road. Vince, he's heading your way.
They've been really happy with this race car. Danny Stockman told Austin Dillon early on, we're going to make adjustments, but it's going to be good. And Austin says it is good. There will be no adjustments made on this particular stop. He said it gets a little snug at the end of the run, but it's the best it's been all night. Marty?
And with that, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has led a lap as he now comes in. And he'll make his stop here on lap number 150.
All right, we are 10 away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wheel straight, foot on the brake. What's your water temp?
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. says this is the worst the car has been all night. They're going to make a 4-tire change. They're going to clean the grill, a wedge adjustment as well. He says he can't roll the center with the speed that he needs. It's just too tight across the center. Marty?
You saw the time, 15 seconds. We now are 3/4 of the way through this race with 50 laps to go. Notice the 98 of Kevin Swindell. He is our 8th different leader, 9 lead changes as the 6 of Stenhouse comes back out onto the racetrack. As we're cycling through with green flag pit stops, and Swindell has now pulled on pit road as well. So Kenny Wallace will take over the race lead.
Whoa, look at Stenhouse. This car's pretty free on those new tires.
Brendan Gaughan right in front of him. Right now, they are shown running 8th and 9th on the score sheet. Of course, we're still cycling through this round of pit stops under green flag conditions. In fact, Kenny Wallace and Joey Logano have both pulled on pit road. There is the 18 of Joey Logano, a 9-time winner this year. But boy, this team's been struggling today, Jamie.
They certainly have. The car just has not been good. They have thrown everything that they could possibly throw at it. He said the car that last run was drivable, just lacking a little bit of grip, which we're hearing a lot of. Remember, this is the last run in the Nationwide Series for Joe Gibbs Racing for Joey Logano as they continue to work on that left-hand side.
And you know he would love to go out with a victory, but right now he's got his work cut out for him as we've cycled through. Austin Dillon has a 2.5-second lead over Regan Smith. Elliott Sadler is 3rd. You're saying, where is the 5 car as Regan is there on your screen?
Yeah, just over 3 seconds back. He made up a lot of time on that exchange of pit stops.
Yeah, he pitted 3 laps before Austin Dillon. That gained him a lot of track position there.
And there is Austin Dillon. He has completed, been on the lead lap every single time but once. What a record for a rookie.
Hit it hard till the sun goes down.
Rookie Austin Dillon trying to cap his season with a 3rd victory of the year here at the Ford Ecoboost 300. He's got 41 more laps to go. You know, we mentioned that he is finished on the all but 1 lap raced in this entire year so far. He's going to join some exclusive company if he does it again today. Brad Keselowski in 2010, Kevin Harvick in 06. The only 2 others that can make that claim.
Yeah, just remarkable what he's been able to do as a rookie in this series.
I was going to say, and doing that with a yellow stripe on the back bumper, that's what makes it so impressive.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday. I think it's a guaranteed bet he's going to be Rookie of the Year. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, I'd say. His lead is 3.3 seconds over Regan Smith. Then Elliott Sadler, 6.1 seconds behind, currently running in that 3rd position. That's Michael Annett. He's a lap down. In fact, right now, only 15 cars on the lead lap. There's Sam Hornish Jr. He is now running back in the 4th spot. He had to pit early because he had a tire going down. And he has 22 more laps on his tires than everybody else on this last round of green flag stops. And that's why you see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. getting around him and taking the spot.
Yeah, plus Sam's going to have to make another pit stop for sure. Looks like a number of these others will be right on the edge of, but probably can make it in.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the leaders can make it on that last stop.
How's that fuel pressure issue we had there? Well, it's creeping down. It's at 6 pounds. 10 more.
Is that an alarm bell going off for you?
Well, not really. I mean, 6 pounds is plenty if it stays there. If it's a trend where it's
side of your screen, he says his car is as loose as he can remember it in a long, long time. Doesn't feel like that last adjustment, that wedge adjustment, did anything for him at all. They're talking about making a bigger swing at it the next time. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has his hands full right now.
Oh, you ain't lying, Dale. I think that's hard to
drive. You gotta watch this screen. You can see how loose it is.
Yeah.
All right, then you just be careful with it.
And that's the key right now. I mean, he can afford to drop a few more positions here.
Yeah, he just has to back off right now and not wreck the car. But this is a handful right now. This is as hard as it gets as a driver. You're trying to win a championship, and you've got a car that really wants to wreck.
And this is that aggressive style that we talk about with him, is that he just does not like to give up positions.
Well, the problem is he's about 3 or 4 tenths off of the leaders, and it's still driving like that.
Running in 5th. Now he's got almost 2 seconds, about 1 3/4 seconds on 6th place, Sam Hornish Jr.
Yeah, and he's got a huge cushion. I mean, you talk about there's still only 15 cars on the lead lap, so you know, he's not in any danger. The only danger would be is if he tries to get too much out of this race car right now.
It's Scott Lagasse in the 8 car. He's going to be doing a lot more Nationwide Racing Series next year, and he is lap traffic, as is Eric McClure. As we pointed out, only 15 cars on the lead lap. In fact, McClure running in that 30th position. Lagasse running 20th, 2 laps down. All right, so Ricky has his hands full. Austin Dillon's out in front. Stay with us to find out who wins this thing.
Ford Ecoboost 300 at Homestead, Miami is brought to you by the all-new Ford Fusion. Go further. And Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
That's downtown Miami. It's under the lights and traffic moving a lot quicker than it normally does. There is the young man who is moving very quickly. He is leading. That is Austin Dillon. He has a 1.6 second lead over Regan Smith with just 28 laps to go. You can see that we have had 11 lead changes between 9 different drivers, 3 cautions, and keep an eye on this because you notice the Cowboys. Caution is out for debris. as we see the point standings right there. This is going to change the complexion of the race once again, guys.
Yes, it is. And a lot of people have tires. I think most of the leaders have tires. 27 laps to go. They'll come get them.
And we will have a total of 14 cars on the lead lap. I believe it'll be Danica Patrick that will get the free pass.
Big break for Sam Hornish there, who is going to need to get in and get fuel and tires before too long, but he'll be able to, even though he'd fallen back tonight, he'll be able to get in there, and he's got a fast race car. We've seen that.
So for young Austin Dillon, he's trying to win a race. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to win back-to-back championships. Elliott Sadler along with Dillon hoping that something happens to that 6 car and it gives them a shot at the title.
Now we're going to see some furious racing here in the last few laps of this one. You see the pit crews go to work here, get 4 tires, and then we're going to see a crazy restart, I'm pretty sure.
All right, we saw what happened with Elliott's pit crew with the loose lug nut. The pressure, we talked about it with Mark Hollywood Armstrong, our over-the-wall reporter. You've been the crew chief in this situation. What's the last thing you're telling your guys before you do this money,
Just
big money stuff?
Take a few deep breaths and nice and smooth. The faster you try to go, the more apt you are to make mistakes, and really the slower you go. So just nice rhythm's what we need here.
And as a driver, you're putting your hands or your race in their hands.
Yeah, and you know, you want to make sure that you do your job without speeding. You don't want to take a chance there or sliding through your pits and not giving them the best opportunity. But this is what it's about.
All right, this is the championship pit stop. It never has gotten any bigger for these 3 drivers than for Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Elliott Sadler. Jamie, you've got it first.
Well, this was a break for Elliott Sadler. I saw his team mention they were going to be 5 laps short. Elliott saying he's lacking right rear grip, track bar down, only 1 can of fuel, and that can throw off their rhythm. And 4 tires. Vince.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. says it is terrible loose, absolutely no grip. He says, I need triple the adjustment you gave me last time. 3 rounds down in the left rear for Stenhouse. As far as Austin Dillon is concerned, too tight on the gas, air pressure adjustment, and he's going to beat Ricky Stenhouse out of the pits easily.
Saw the times right there. And there is Ricky Stenhouse, the race off pit road. Everybody going for tires.
Pretty well hold station up front.
So there's Stenhouse in the 5th one coming off the line. Sadler 3rd. We'll set it up for you when we come back. All right, stage is set now for the championship run. Everybody has got plenty of fresh tires. They have fuel. And it's now a battle between Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Elliott Sadler, and Austin Dillon. You see all 3 on your screen. You see the points differential. And we can tell you that there will be 12 waiver rounds because Kevin Swindell stayed out. Now, we'll talk about that in a moment, but the ones that get back on the lead lap, Logano, Wallace, Allgaier, Annette, and Bliss. All right, there's the 3 right up on that front row alongside the 99 of Kevin Swindell. Swindell is going to get run over here. He's got everybody on the championship. The 3, then in row number 2, you've got the 5 of Regan Smith. There's Elliott Sadler, and just another row back, Brendan Gaughan, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that number 6, in control of his own destiny, but man, this has got to be nervous.
The wild card in this particular restart is going to be that 98 up there with no tires.
Yeah, what kind of room does he give these other drivers, especially the 2 championship contenders right there behind him in the 2 and the 6?
So if you're the 6, you know the 98's going to be on your high side. Do you try and go low, DJ, or do you just ride it out?
You're going to try to go where he's not, so trying to figure out where he's going is going to be the problem.
All right, well, we're about to find out. Pace car has pulled off. Swindell, driver's right, is the race leader on old tires, green flag, and boy, Elliott's right on his bumper. Regan Smith looking down low. He's going for the lead underneath. 4 wide, hang on.
Wow. Sadler wanted this race lead right now.
And there's Stenhouse right in the middle of the mix as well. It's Regan Smith right out in front. Elliott Sadler 2nd. Austin Dillon 3rd.
See Kyle Busch trying to go forward here. We haven't talked about him in a while. His car's been extremely loose.
3 wide through the corner.
Well, look at Stenhouse sideways.
Yeah, those 3 rounds didn't seem to help too much. You're right, Andy. Side by side, Austin Dillon trying to take the spot away from Elliott Sadler, and he does.
Well, we heard Austin Dillon thank his crew a little bit ago for working on that race car. They have made this thing the fastest car here.
Regan Smith out in front. There's Kyle Busch. He had the dominant race car at the beginning of this race, leading 89 laps early. We now have 21 laps to go. And there you see Elliott Sadler under attack from the 54. We're hearing something on the 2, Jamie. What do you have for us?
And he is screaming, fired up. He said, what did you guys do? This car is junk. All they did was make a track bar adjustment. As you watch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. goes around him. He's hot under that helmet. Caution on the track.
Yellow's out.
I'm looking around the track. I don't see anybody in the wall, guys. So here with 19 laps. Oh, there it is, Johanna Long. It's up close on the back stretch. That's why we couldn't see it from our position. We're blocked from that in a tough way for her to end her season. Johanna will be back with this team next year for at least 21 races. Not the way she wanted to end the year. She was 25th, 3 laps down, and when we saw her earlier in the race, we talked about how she was struggling this weekend.
Yeah, she was, and good to see her getting out of this car right there. That's a hard hit to the front of this car.
Yeah, parts laying everywhere on the back straightaway.
From Joey Logano's onboard, we'll be able to get a better look at, see what happened to Johanna.
So you can get a really good look. Like Joey got in the left rear.
You might be right, Andy. Keep an eye on the impact.
That's a scary lick right there. Oh. You see all those parts flying off the car?
Boy, you're right. It's great to see her able to walk away from that one. So hard contact here, our 5th caution. And now I'm going to put you on the spot. Does the 2 car come in? Since he said he was having so much trouble, does he?
Well, he doesn't have any more tires.
Yeah, but could the adjustment help?
Keep passing enough cars.
Okay, you're right. There's 19 cars on the lead lap. We'll find out what happens when we come back. Regan Smith is the leader. Under our 5th caution here at Homestead Miami Speedway with 17 laps to go as a result of Johanna Long hitting the wall on the inside of the exit of turn number 2. Now, the 87 of Joe Nemechek gets the free pass. That gives us 20 cars on the lead lap, which is right in the ballpark of what normally happens here at Homestead Miami Speedway. And here you see the track history over the last 5 years, and this is really the last chance for both Elliott Sadler and Austin Dillon, isn't it?
Well, that's why this isn't over. We keep preaching that it's not over until he goes across and takes the checkered flag. If somebody gets up against him with the exhaust pipe here, cuts the left rear tire, left front tire down, something like that, then he has to pit. Then all of a sudden, everything has changed. Then the 2 and the 3 are back in the middle of this.
So this is going to be, to put it bluntly, the most nerve-wracking 16 laps for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Let's listen in on that 2 radio, see if
We are absolutely junk. Absolutely. Fight tough right here, Elliott. The seat cycle will help you. I know, man. I'm fighting. I do not understand how we can really, it just goes so far. It's just so far every time we put a set of tires on it.
He's going to restart 4th.
Yeah, and what I could tell there, we didn't hear if it was tight. What I could see there, it looked like maybe it was tight because I saw him really get down against cars trying to hold them back. If his car was loose, I don't think he could be making that kind of move. So see if this heat cycle, as Luke was telling me, is going to help him.
All right, let's reset it for you. Regan Smith, who has been out of the series for 5 years, is the race leader. Austin Dillon will be right alongside. Then in row 2, it'll be Kyle Busch and Elliott Sadler. In row 3, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Brendan Gaulin.
Kyle Busch made a nice recovery. He's up there in 3rd spot. And I've heard he's pretty good on his restart.
All right, hey, man, I won't bug you very much. I'm just going to bug you right here. You got a lot of guys in front of you that are racing for everything they can tonight, and we're not in that race. Be real smart looking ahead.
In other words, don't fight for the win. Let's get this championship wrapped up.
Yeah, you were talking about how nerve-wracking it is for Ricky Stenhouse. How about Mike Kelly?
Yeah.
He's got to watch this.
All right, here we go. Regan Smith taking the high side. Look at Mike. His last race together with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He wants to go out on a championship note. Green flag. We're on. Kyle Busch trying to get underneath the 3.
Yeah, Austin Dillon looked like he spun the tires a little bit on the start there. Couldn't get going.
Sadler gets a good restart, but not as good as Regan Smith.
Kind of what tells me that 2 car may be on the tight side. He's able to go right now on this restart. See if it'll hold up for him.
Stenhouse trying to stay clear of everything. You see him right behind the 12 there of Sam Hornish Jr.
I'll tell you what, he's not that clear. He's sticking it right in there.
And he puts the 3 car behind him.
Just right, just right.
It's awful hard to just ride, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And we see Austin Dillon, who looked like he was going to have a shot at winning this, restarting on the inside, has fallen back now outside the top 5 and 6.
Here comes Kyle Busch side by side with Elliott Sadler. That is for second. Kyle Busch has the spot. There's Ricky. He's still got the 3 car trying to get back around him. 13 laps to go for the race win and for the championship. The 6 car, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in control. Regan Smith, his lead about half a second right now over second place Kyle Busch.
Whoa, watch out.
Look out. Getting real dicey up against the wall. And man, that was close.
Yeah, he just doesn't need to be in that situation. And if I was his father, I'd tell him, get out of there.
Stop racing him.
There you heard it.
Cruise here.
That's not smart.
Just leave him alone.
You can see Sam Hornish had to check up as he got down into the corner. Austin Dillon had a big run. He had to try to avoid him, and Stenhouse was on the outside.
Well, he's given a little bit of breathing room to the 3 of Austin Dillon, but here comes the 11 now, Brian Scott, and that is also for position.
Well, right now he's got some room in front. He's got a fast enough car. Now he needs to try to get away from these 2 cars that are right there on his bumper. I think he can do that and then just hang out here. He's got about 10 laps to go.
Cole Witt in the 88. And you're right, he's got enough breathing room, and he is starting to pull away just a little bit from that 88 car. So after a heart-stopping moment, things have calmed down a little bit. Next time by, we will have 10 laps remaining in the 2012 season. There you saw Regan Smith. Here comes Sam Hornish Jr. side by side with Elliott Sadler.
Yes, Sadler continues to fall back, fighting the handle of this race car. Thinks it's extremely tight for him, just not able to go. See, Brendan Gaughan had also gotten around him up in that 3rd spot in front of Hornish.
Brendan Gaughan looking at a great finish in that 33 car. Regan Smith, can you believe this? His first race back in over 5 years. He had 102 prior starts in the Nationwide Series, but his best finish was 5th 3 times.
Now, this is a great gauge on how much progress they've made with that team. I'm telling you, this is it shows that they've come a long, long way. Ryan Pemberton doing an incredible job, and the interaction with Hendrick Motorsports is really paying off.
Yeah, it really is. And to get a veteran driver in there, someone that has a lot of experience, even though he hasn't driven these cars that much, Regan Smith is a good, solid race driver that can give them a lot of feedback and show them just what their cars are capable of doing.
A preview of what we may see next year from that team, but right now, all eyes focus on the championship. The 6 car, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. doing what he has to do right now, just stay out of trouble. He's running 7th.
He's been close to trouble quite a few times tonight.
There goes your race leader, Kyle Busch, who right now, unless something happens, it looks like he will go winless here in 2012, which will break that 8 consecutive year streak. Of course, Mark Martin has 9 consecutive years. That's what he was trying to tie, with at least 1 win in every one of those seasons. But you can see the gap. It's widened to 1.4 seconds. And then you see Sadler, Dillon, and Stenhouse. They're running pretty much in lockstep, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Brian Scott right behind Ricky, and You know he realizes what's at stake with those 3 cars in front of him, but he too is trying to do the best he can because he's looking for a ride.
Sure, he's wanting to get as good a finish as he possibly can here. You see Austin Dillon taking that spot away from Elliott Sadler. Oh, Austin almost into the wall there. Had to get out of the gas. Allows the 2 and the 6 to come by.
So now, Ricky's right back in the mess. Because look at this, he's got cars all around him again. 6 laps to go. And it looks like he's saying, okay, I'm going to make a little safe move here.
Yeah, that's the smart thing to do. He just doesn't need that whatsoever. See Austin Dillon going to try to make this move once again, put a slide job on Elliott Sadler. See if he can stay in the gas this time. Nope.
Here comes Brian Scott underneath Ricky Stenhouse.
Let the 11 go.
And you heard the spotter. Let the 11 go.
I think I'd let them all go. I just say,
yeah,
it's just too much trouble ahead of you there. You saw that 3-car just broadside in front of him at one time.
Oh. You'd never know those guys are teammates. Well, they're not going to be teammates after this race.
Not much acting like it right now.
Elliott up on the high side. Dillon goes down low and looks like he is going to pick up the spot.
Yeah, Sadler's really struggling with this car, but those points right there really don't mean anything. You can see he's still has a cushion as far as that second place in the point standings.
Sadler running the low line, as is the 11 of Brian Scott, and there you see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. just trying to stay out of the way.
Let the 11 go. Let him go this time, I'm telling you.
I sound like Callan off the spotter. He's getting a little more forceful about this.
Ryan Blaney coming into the view as well in that 22 car. Next time by, 3 laps to go. Obviously, Ricky may have turned off the radio.
Yeah, he may have. He didn't hear that. Or chose not to.
He goes around Elliott. And that's just rubbing salt in the wounds for that number 2 car. Elliott sees a second year in a row where the 6 car looks like he is going to win the championship. Here comes Brian Scott underneath in that 11.
We're talking about this 2 car. He can't give up too many more of these spots, though. See, he will have the tiebreaker, even if they should tie with the 3 as far as the points go for second spot.
2 to go this time.
2 to go. You heard the call. Just 3 miles left in the 2012 NASCAR Nationwide season. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that number 6, looking to go back-to-back to join some exclusive company.
All clear. I'm going to go white this time.
In that group, Sam R. And anytime we can mention Sam R, it's a great day in motorsports. White flag is out. 1 lap to go for Regan Smith. His return to the Nationwide Series looks like it's going to be on a winning note.
Here's the white.
And there is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. comfortably in the 6th position.
66 to a 54. Low car.
Here comes Regan.
Coming to the checkers this time.
It'll be his first career win in 103 nationwide starts, but the last one came all the way back in 2007.
Coming to the checkers.
Out of turn 4, he's going to win the race. Ricky Stenhouse is going to win the championship.
Nice job. Great work, buddy. You're always fun working with you, man. Y'all did a great job. And be careful what you do. You're burning out. There's going to be a champion out there somewhere, too. You know what I'm saying? That's 4. Now, Junior, Kelly, this race, thank you guys for the opportunity. It's going to be a fun year next year. Hell of a job, everybody. Junior Motorsports, good job. Yeah, you run a hell of a race there, buddy. Hard work all year long there, guys. Thanks to all these 88 boys for helping out. Man, I'm so proud of you. Job tonight. Proud of you guys, man. Hell yeah, big crew. Thanks for coming down early. Really appreciate you guys. Good job. Kelly, where do they want us to go? We were at the wing. About coming down pit road, but hey, good job, buddy.
I gotta be honest, I thought I'd hear a lot more hooping and hollering on that radio in the celebration.
Burn out here or what? No, I would. You're the champion. Cool.
That puts a different twist on with that yellow paint down there.
That makes some cool smoke.
Livens up the burnout. So Regan Smith gives us a sneak preview of what that 5 team's going to look like next year. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr., let's enjoy the celebration. there are celebrating. That's the 18 of Joey Logano, because that team wins the Owners' Championship. And I always like to rename that the Team Championship, because that's the car that has scored the most points throughout the course of the year. And there is the flip side of the coin. The dejection for the second year in a row and the heartbreak. And Jamie, it's all yours.
Well, earlier in Countdown, we had sat down with Elliott. You said losing this year would be more disappointing than last year. How so?
Oh, yes, way more disappointing this year because we had control of the points the whole entire season. And I'm just proud of my guys, everybody on this one main financial team. And, we raced as hard as we could every weekend. We came up short. And, didn't take but a few races to put us behind. Indy was really big as far as momentum was concerned, and definitely last week at Phoenix. But I'm just proud of my guys, man. This is one of the most fun years I've ever had, and second's not what we wanted, but we got to hang our hat on some wins and some poles, and we ran good and competitive all year long.
What stands out the most? You guys did have a dynamic relationship, and 4 wins, 4 poles together. You're both going your separate ways next year. What stands out the most?
Well, hopefully the friendships, and I talked to these guys before the race, and we learned a lot about each other while we were racing, but I feel like I gained a lot of friends in the sport. These guys really buckled hard and ran good with me week in and week out and gave me their best, and that's all I can ask for. And I just had great support from everybody from One Main, everybody from Coca-Cola and Hunt Brothers. Everybody was a part of this race team, really stood by our side, and I apologize at the end for coming up a little short, but we did the best we could.
One of the gentleman racers out here comes in second for the second straight year. Marty?
And on the right side, and they're now full screen, the celebration as teams come out to congratulate a 2-time champion in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who next year will...
appreciate what you've done for the last 2.5 years for us. Thank you, man. This is a team effort last 2 years. Awesome job.
He moves into Sprint Cup for that man right there, Jack Roush, next year. All right, so while Ricky gets to take a little more victory lap, let's go to victory lane and talk to one of the men who may be fighting for that championship next year.
Welcome back to the Nationwide Series. Regan Smith, describe what just happened there.
That was a strong race car there. That's what just happened. First and foremost, I got to thank all the guys at Junior Motorsports. They build a heck of a race car, and I'm excited about driving them next year. These guys have they worked hard all year long, and we're going to do the same next year, and we're going to go out and contend for a championship, and that's our plan. And hopefully tonight was a part of a statement right there. HendrickCars.com, Dale Jr., Kelly, Mr. H for the opportunity to hop in these race cars. These things are fun to drive, and I can't wait for next year. I can't wait to get to Daytona. It kind of sucks that we got to wait 2 months now. I'd rather just start right now and get going with things.
Well, they'll build some great cars for him. They'll line them up and let Regan Smith take them down next season. Marty?
All right, thank you, Vince. And a very happy Regan Smith. What a way to come back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series. We talked about Mike Kelly's relationship with his driver. He's going to stay in the Nationwide Series. And he is going to miss that man right there, the 2-time champion of the NASCAR Nationwide Series. And as we head to break, look at this. Burnouts with a little extra color. Celebration continues in victory lane. There's Steve Letarte, the crew chief, calling the shots tonight for the number 5 of race winner Regan Smith. As they make a triumphant return to the NASCAR Nationwide Series in their very first race. And that number 5 sitting right there to the left of the screen. And of course, everybody is waiting to hear from the champion for the second year in a row. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished 6th in tonight's race. Elliott Sadler came home in the 9th position. There's Ricky. And while we're waiting for the championship celebration to begin, it gives us a chance to catch up with Steve Letarte. How about it, Dave Burns?
Well, he's got his hat for victory lane. I think you earned that tonight. That was fantastic.
I don't know if I earned it.
Rex Stump, he really was listed as a crew chief. He did all the work. He got the car ready in the garage and worked it through practice, and it was just amazing. Regan drove a great race. And, I'm really proud of Junior Motorsports. They've, it's been a long year, and they've dug their heels in really, really deep, and they've worked all year long. And it was really, really good to get one to, victory lane.
It's been since 2010 since Junior Motorsports was in victory lane. Jamie Little?
And Austin Dillon, what a year it's been for him. 2 wins. You've done a lot of things that no rookie before you has done. Your pop, Richard Childress came up. What has this year been like? You're a rookie, and the things that you were able to accomplish.
Yeah, it was a great year. I can't say enough about my team. We're actually a rookie team pretty much, the guys that we brought together this year. And just the RCR as a whole working together, ECR engine, Chevrolet, everybody that helped us this year, it's really the experience around us. We were able to take it and run well with it. And if you could tell me to run third in the points our first year out and have 2 wins, I'd take it from the very beginning. So very happy with Advocare, Bass Pro Shops, everybody that helped us out this year.
You guys led a lot of laps, had a great car, but you struggled on some of the restarts. How can you be better next year there?
Yeah, we just got to go test. I got to work on them a little bit, but I think another thing is just getting experience. So the second row, they'll lag back on you. When they get that run, it's hard to block them or do whatever, and just got to get more focused on it, and that's an area I got to work on, and I'll be better for next year. But the car was great, and we adjusted it and did our job. Just got to finish it at the end.
All right, grandson of Richard Childress, very proud, Marty.
Yeah, there he is. He's got a big smile on his face, and that young man certainly did accomplish an awful lot in his rookie year. How about if we focus on the champion, the back-to-back champion, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And here they are, Sam Ard, Larry Pearson, Randy LaJoy, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Martin Truex Jr., and now Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, your 2012 NASCAR Nationwide Series champion, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And Ricky, I know the first one will always be so special, but becoming only the 6th driver to win them back-to-back. Share with us the emotion of this moment.
It's really neat. These guys behind me are what do it all the time, man. It's really cool to be up here and drive these race cars for Jack, for Ford, for Roush Yates, for everybody that puts their heart and soul in this. Cargill Beef, Noss, Valvoline, Roush Yates engines are just incredible tonight. Best Buy, Fifth Third, Zest, everybody that helps us with this is just incredible. I'm just glad to be able to do it 2 in a row.
Second half of the race tonight, you had to be very nervous. Thoughts about fuel pressure, thoughts about the car being very, very loose, and then an incident almost with the 3 car. How concerned were you?
I wasn't concerned. We were loose. We've had loose race cars before, and we made an adjustment there. And I was questioning how far we should go, but I think we went a little too far to have a run at it there at the end. Got a little too tight, but I can't say enough about these guys. It's been fun. I got to say hey to my granddad at home. He's not doing as well as he needs to be, so I want to say hey to him, and we'll see him soon. But I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody else as well.
Mike Kelly, your crew chief, 2 years in a row, 2 championships in a row, got very emotional talking before the race about having to leave you. What does this mean? You will not be together next year as you go to Sprint Cup. What does it mean to you, what these guys have given you now these last 2 years?
It means we're leaving Trevor in great hands. These guys have done an awesome job. Mike's been a great crew chief to work with, but more than that, he's a great friend. We spend a lot of time together. These guys spend a lot of time on the road together, and can't ask for a better group. So hopefully they can make it 3 in a row next year.
Hey, congratulations, 2 in a row, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Thank you.
Marty?
And of course, the reference to Trevor is Trevor Bayne, who will be taking over that 6th ride in the NASCAR Nationwide Series next year. So as we still wait for the trophy presentation to be performed, you see the championship up on the podium. Here are the point standings. Elliott Sadler in 2nd, just 1 ahead of Austin Dillon. Sam Hornish Jr. finishes 4th. Michael Annett will be the 5th man on the podium as he beats out Justin Allgaier for that 5th spot. And Danica Patrick rounds out the top 10. Stay with us. We'll come back for the trophy presentation.
They call it the road to the championship, but this is no road. It's an obstacle course, a lifelong series of tests, setbacks, and triumphs. Of wrecked race cars, a lot of wrecked race cars. Of heartbreaks and lucky breaks. Traveling this road, you pick up pieces along the way. Pieces that all finally snap into place today. The pieces that come together to build a champion.
And I go back to Kansas when he was 2 laps down and somehow came back to win that race. And now here he is getting ready for a trophy presentation for the 2nd year in a row. Doc, it's all yours.
All right, formal presentation here on the championship stage. Let me introduce NASCAR President Mike Helton to offer his congratulations. Mike.
Thanks, Doc. Ricky, you came out of the box as our reigning champion, being competitive all year long. Having made a couple of comebacks during the season, but you never stopped charging, never stopped driving hard. And we're honored to have you as our 2012 Nationwide Series champion. Congratulations. You, Jack Roush, all your crew guys, all the Roush Racing folks that put the ammunition behind you to give you the opportunity of what you do. It's a great honor to have you as our 2012 champion.
And now to make the trophy presentation from presenting sponsor Nationwide Insurance Executive Vice President Matt Jalkus. Matt.
Ricky, on behalf of the 35,000 associates of the Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and all of our agents and all of our members, it is my honor to present you the 2012 NASCAR Nationwide Series Championship Trophy. Congratulations.
Ricky Stenhouse will hold that trophy high and be very proud of the accomplishments this year. Ricky, 2nd and possibly final Nationwide Championship as you move full-time to NASCAR Sprint Cup next year. Tell the folks in the young Ricky Stenhouse wannabes listening and watching at home what this series has meant to you these last 2 years.
This series has meant a lot from Nationwide Insurance and everybody that works on their half to really put this series out there on their side has done a great job, and I can't think of better people to race with. And you know, for the competitiveness of this series, it's getting more competitive every year, and these races are tough to win. So it's been a great learning experience from all the officials, Joe Balish and his guys. It's an honor to race in this series, and I'll enjoy it every time I get to come back.
Can you believe 2 years ago you were almost looking for a ride, and Jack Roush stuck with you? You said, I understand what it takes. Tony Stewart found you. Jack Roush gave you an opportunity, and now 2 years in a row you stand here as a champion of one of the premier stock car series in the country.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's just a lot of hard work by a lot of hard-working people. So I'm just honored to be in this position, and I don't know if I was looking for a ride, but I was looking for a tool to work on them. So hopefully that's over with, and you know, we can carry this momentum into next year.
Let's bring in Mike Kelly. Mike, come on in here if you would. Championship crew chief Mike Kelly, 2 years in a row. Mike, tell us what this means to you to be able to take this guy from almost not having a ride to being a NASCAR champion back-to-back years.
Man, it means the world to me and all these guys behind me that we stuck together for the last couple of years and worked hard through the tough times. But we also had a lot of really good times. And it all started back in 2010. We watched the banquet from down on the floor when Ricky won the Rookie of the Year, and he said, you know, next year we got to sit up there, and we did. And last year we sat up there and we said we don't ever want to sit out there again. And we came back from the banquet and we put a new group of guys together, and Ricky right away said, let's raise the bar. I want to win 6 to 10 races and definitely win this championship. And no one said we couldn't. No one ever turned away. We've had fast cars and a lot of good times this year. It's been a lot of fun.
Well done. Let's bring in Jack Roush. And Jack, you're the man who believed in these guys and put this team together and stuck with them. Jack, what does this mean for Roush Fenway in your organization?
Well, it's a bright future for us with Ricky for sure. You know, we've never had a better crew chief driver combination than Mike Kelly and Ricky, and I look forward to seeing them be successful for many years to come. But it certainly is a passing of a guard here with the next generation coming on into their own.
Okay, that's the Drivers' Championship. We still have more presentations here as we reintroduce Mike Helton to make a presentation to the winning car owner champion.
JD, Joe Gibbs Racing's been quite a force in NASCAR across the board, but particularly in the Nationwide Series. And we're honored again to present you the 2012 car owner champion for the NASCAR Series, and congratulate you.
JD Gibbs, fourth time in 5 years you guys have won the car owners championship. What does this say about Joe Gibbs Racing and the organization you built here in the Nationwide Series?
We love Nationwide. It's kind of our training ground. And we've had the amazing thing this year, 6 different drivers, 8 different sponsors, put it all together and wind up where we are. So it's just a blessing to be a part of it. Adam Stevens, our crew chief, just does a great job. His teams. It's hard to do 2 drivers. We had 6. They did a great job.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
JD Gibbs, Joe Gibbs Racing, the car owners champion, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., back-to-back NASCAR Nationwide Series titles.
So that celebration will continue long into the night. The banquet will be held on Monday in Miami, and the celebration just started. And believe it or not, before we know it, we're going to be back racing in February. Let's talk about Daytona, because you can get your 2013 Daytona 500 tickets. All you have to do is call 1-866-GO-NASCAR. Why wait? Do it now. We'll be there. All right, great season. Final thoughts. What do you think?
A lot of great competition. I think the thing that stands out to me is how impressive the Nationwide regulars were this year against the Cup guys and teams coming in here. They won a lot of races. They battled them hard. And to watch Ricky Stenhouse drive this race car is a real pleasure. It's a thrill to watch every lap with this young man, and I just congratulate him on 2 championships. But Elliott Sadler, Austin Dillon, what a great job they did. It was fun watching this.
Yeah, this is such a quality series, and we've got a great champion to watch in the Cup Series next year, and hopefully he'll give us some exciting moments like he has here in the Nationwide Series.
I remember something Rusty said in the pre-race show. Enjoy this championship, because next year life changes when you get into Cup, right?
It definitely changes. You have to step it up, but I think Ricky Stenhouse is capable of doing that.
Yeah, I see him as being one of those Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle types that Jack Roush has brought along and have done great things in the Sprint Cup Series.
And as we mentioned, it'll be Trevor Bayne taking over the 6 ride next year. And it's going to be an interesting season in 2013, to say the least. All right, don't forget, the chase for the Sprint Cup concludes tomorrow. It's the Ford Ecoboost 400 right here, Homestead, Miami. Our coverage begins with countdown at 1:30 Eastern on ESPN. Who wins it? Brad Keselowski, or as we mentioned, does 5-time turn it into a 6-pack in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship? Coming up next, it's ESPN College Football Scoreboard. Congratulations to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., to Joe Gibbs Racing, and for our entire ESPN crew. I'm Marty Reed. Thanks so much for joining us. Till we meet again.
They call it the road to the championship, but this is no road. It's an obstacle course, a lifelong series of tests, setbacks, and triumphs, of wrecked race cars, a lot of wrecked race cars, of heartbreaks and lucky breaks. Traveling this road, you pick up pieces along the way, pieces that all finally snap into place today. The pieces that come together to build a champion.
And I go back to Kansas when he was 2 laps down and somehow came back to win that race. And now here he is getting ready for a trophy presentation for the 2nd year in a row. Doc, it's all yours.
All right, formal presentation here on the championship stage. Let me introduce NASCAR President Mike Helton to offer his congratulations. Mike.
Thanks, Doc. Ricky, you came out of the box as our reigning champion, being competitive all year long. Having made a couple of comebacks during the season, but you never stopped charging, never stopped driving hard. And we're honored to have you as our 2012 Nationwide Series champion. Congratulations. You, Jack Roush, all your crew guys, all the Roush Racing folks that put the ammunition behind you to give you the opportunity of what you do. It's a great honor to have you as our 2012 champion.
And now to make the trophy presentation from presenting sponsor Nationwide Insurance Executive Vice President Matt Jalkas. Matt.
Ricky, on behalf of the 35,000 associates of the Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and all of our agents and all of our members, it is my honor to present you the 2012 NASCAR Nationwide Series Championship trophy. Congratulations.
Ricky Stenhouse will hold that trophy high and be very proud of the accomplishments this year. Ricky, second and possibly final Nationwide Championship as you move full-time to NASCAR Sprint Cup next year. Tell the folks in the young Ricky Stenhouse wannabes listening and watching at home what this series has meant to you these last 2 years.
This series has meant a lot from Nationwide Insurance and everybody that works on their half to really put this series out there on their side has done a great job, and I can't think of better people to race with. And you know, for the competitiveness of this series, it's getting more competitive every year, and these races are tough to win. So it's been a great learning experience from all the officials, Joe Balish and his guys. It's an honor to race in this series, and I'll enjoy it every time I get to come back.
Can you believe 2 years ago you were almost looking for a ride, and Jack Roush stuck with you? You said, I understand what it takes. Tony Stewart found you. Jack Roush gave you an opportunity, and now 2 years in a row you stand here as a champion of one of the premier stock car series in the country.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's just a lot of hard work by a lot of hard-working people. So I'm just honored to be in this position, and I don't know if I was looking for a ride, but I was looking for a tool to work on them. So hopefully that's over with, and you know, we can carry this momentum into next year.
Let's bring in Mike Kelly. Mike, come on in here if you would. Championship crew chief Mike Kelly, 2 years in a row. Mike, tell us what this means to you to be able to take this guy from almost not having a ride to being a NASCAR champion back-to-back years.
Man, it means the world to me and all these guys behind me that we stuck together for the last couple of years and worked hard through the tough times. And we also had a lot of really good times. And it all started back in 2010. We watched the banquet from down on the floor when Ricky won the Rookie of the Year, and he said, you know, next year we got to sit up there, and we did. And last year we sat up there and we said we don't ever want to sit out there again. And we came back from the banquet and we put a new group of guys together, and Ricky right away said, let's raise the bar. I want to win 6 to 10 races and definitely win this championship. And no one said we couldn't. No one ever turned away. We've had fast cars and a lot of good times this year. It's been a lot of fun.
Well done. Let's bring in Jack Roush. And Jack, you're the man who believed in these guys and put this team together and stuck with them. Jack, what does this mean for Roush Fenway and your organization?
Well, it's a bright future for us with Ricky for sure. You know, we've never had a better crew chief driver combination than Mike Kelly and Ricky, and I look forward to seeing them be successful for many years to come. But it certainly is a passing of a guard here with the next generation coming on into their own.
Okay, that's the Drivers' Championship. We still have more presentations here as we reintroduce Mike Helton to make a presentation to the winning car owner champion.
JD, Joe Gibbs Racing's been quite a force in NASCAR across the board, but particularly in the Nationwide Series. And we're honored again to present you the 2012 car owner champion for the NASCAR Series, and congratulate you.
JD Gibbs, fourth time in 5 years you guys have won the car owners championship. What does this say about Joe Gibbs Racing and the organization you built here in the Nationwide Series?
We love Nationwide. It's kind of our training ground. And we've had the amazing thing this year, 6 different drivers, 8 different sponsors, put it all together and wind up where we are. So it's just a blessing to be a part of it. Adam Stevens, our crew chief, just does a great job. His teams. It's hard to do 2 drivers. We had 6. They did a great job.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
JD Gibbs, Joe Gibbs Racing, the car owners champion, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. back-to-back NASCAR Nationwide Series titles.
So that celebration will continue long into the night. The banquet will be held on Monday in Miami, and the celebration just starting. And believe it or not, before we know it, we're going to be back racing in February. Let's talk about Daytona, because you can get your 2013 Daytona 500 tickets. All you have to do is call 1-866-GO-NASCAR. Why wait? Do it now. We'll be there. All right, great season. Final thoughts. What do you think?
A lot of great competition. I think the thing that stands out to me is how impressive the nationwide regulars were this year against the Cup guys and teams coming in here. They won a lot of races. They battled them hard. And to watch Ricky Stenhouse drive this race car is a real pleasure. It's a thrill to watch every lap with this young man. And I just congratulate him on 2 championships. But Elliott Sadler, Austin Dillon, what a great job they did. It was fun watching this.
Yeah, this is such a quality series, and we've got a great champion to watch in the Cup Series next year, and hopefully he'll give us some exciting moments like he has here in the Nationwide Series.
I remember something Rusty said in the pre-race show. Enjoy this championship because next year life changes when you get into Cup, right?
It definitely changes. You have to step it up, but I think Ricky Stenhouse is capable of doing that.
Yeah, I see him as being one of those Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle types that Jack Roush has brought along and have done great things in the Sprint Cup Series.
And as we mentioned, it'll be Trevor Bayne taking over the 6 ride next year. And it's going to be an interesting season in 2013, to say the least. All right, don't forget, the chase for the Sprint Cup concludes tomorrow. It's the Ford Ecoboost 400 right here, Homestead, Miami. Our coverage begins with countdown at 1:30 Eastern on ESPN. Who wins it? Brad Keselowski, or as we mentioned, does 5-time turn it into a 6-pack in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship? Coming up next, it's ESPN College Football Scoreboard. Congratulations to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., to Joe Gibbs Racing, and for our entire ESPN crew. I'm Marty Reed. Thanks so much for joining us. Till we meet again.